Okay, we're good to go.
All right. Good morning. Welcome to the Seizn Podcast. If you're liking already, like and press that like button. Press that thumbs up button. Good morning. We are Kevin, Pookie, and Mark. Uh, Back again as the regular. Um, Mark, you have anything? I have a few, but I liked what you were talking about before, and I forgot what it was. But
I don't know. I talk about a lot of things. Um, what,
there was just a few things I forgot what it was. What were you just talking
there's,
about?
well, most recently, um, I don't know if I don't think I was talking about this just before we started, but Rocket News, there's some fun. Um, a Falcon Heavy just launched from Cape Canaveral this morning. 10:13 a.m. Um, Unfortunately, it was too cloudy to see from where I was. There's a layer of high-level clouds, but over by the Cape, it was clear. Um, it was pretty cool. The um, the two boosters landed back at the Cape, and the core stage landed out on one of the recovery barges. Um, so fun stuff there. On
Wait,
Monday, an Atlas 5551 that went up. That was really cool. That one was a night launch, 852, if I remember correctly. And night launches from the Orlando area, if you're in a suburb that's dark enough, the night launches actually kind of light up the entire eastern horizon, um, with this kind of orangish glow. And when they launch them with a northward trajectory, it kind of arcs along the entire horizon. So that was pretty interesting. But the altitude that it hit meant that it was visible across most of the eastern seaboard. If people were watching, there was a little orangey light, um, which is pretty cool because that means at some point um, during that launch, uh, both myself and many other people along all the way up across the states further north were looking and able to see the same dot, the rocket from its altitude was high enough. Um, so really cool to see, really kind of neat to think about. That one was taking up a batch of Amazon Leo satellites. So, pretty, uh, I don't know. I was gonna say cool. I don't know. Cool that Bezos is catching up to Musk, I guess. I'm not too concerned about the battle of billionaires, but um, the rockets are fun. And Atlas 551 is actually a retired rocket. Um, ULA has finished all production. They've entirely moved to the Centaur rocket, or to the Vulcan Centaur. Um, the there are now 8 remaining Atlas V launches left. Um, I think one or two are national security, national reconnaissance, um, top secret, and most of the remaining are just more um, Amazon Leo. Um, but um, there was also um, news recently about an AI designed and 3D printed aerospike engine, which is, I don't know, um,
Wait,
I don't know,
a
I don't
3D
know if I
printed
should,
engine for a rocket?
yeah, a 3D printed, successfully tested, proven, AI designed, and then 3D printed with metal. Um, so I don't know, are you interested in the 3D printing more than the aerospike? Because Um, the aerospike part is actually a completely different design for the rocket engines. It had been considered practically impossible um, at various points. Theoretically possible only because of just constraints due to manufacturing and whatnot. But now with the 3D printing technology available and then the AI assist in the design, they made it actually made it which is incredibly impressive. But the aerospace, okay, so when you're designing a typical rocket engine, you have a chamber, a combustion chamber. You dump massive amounts of fuel in there. It burns, it gets high pressure, and then you send it out through a nozzle. So typically to start accelerating a gas, you squeeze it, right, to get it to flow faster and faster and faster. But when you need to get it to go faster, supersonic at some point, that creates a shock wave, which would uh, destroy, it does destroy the nozzle. It basically turns your combustion chamber and nozzle and the gases flowing out of it into a bomb. The constriction of the shock wave is pushing back against the outflow of the gas and the pressure rises. So in order to counteract that and to continue the acceleration, you get the bell shape of the nozzle that you see on rocket engines when they're all these like cones at the back and they kind of point these cones in different directions. Um, they're up at the top end, they're cones pointing inward before they go outward. And the outward is an expansion, and that expanding actually acts as a nozzle. Once the flow is supersonic, it pulls the gas out of the combustion chamber, and that's what allows you to accelerate um, a gas flow to supersonic speeds. It's the only reason that you're able to produce those, mock diamonds, if you're familiar with them, coming out the back of a rocket engine. The only way that it can, that you can get a gas to flow fast enough like that is by expanding it to supersonic speeds. So the aerospike relies um, instead of having the bell and the cone move outward, the idea is to have a cone inward with the combustion chamber up in an annular, like a donut-shaped ring up at the top of it. So you have this kind of cone shape coming in up at the top, and then there's a hole that um, that um, I'm not sure what Kevin is trying to do there.
Be back
Um,
in 5 minutes.
okay.
Hmm.
There's a donut shape or a ring shaped hole up at the top of the um, that kind of cone shaped nozzle up there, and then that ring outlets to what continues on as a cone. So the exhaust gases adhere to that spike shape on the inside, and then the atmosphere around um, the gas is what acts as a nozzle to allow the gas to expand at varying rates. The expansion rate is something that is very important. So those nozzles, the cones, um, are designed, um, and the shape of the cone basically optimizes it for a particular pressure, a particular altitude. And so that's part of why these multiple stages are necessary. The If you watch a Falcon launch, the MVAC engines, the Merlin vacuum engines, when they get them up out in space, they have to have a different cone, a different engine, because the cones they use on the boosters don't work the same up in space. But this aerospike um, would, because of the change in the um, density of the air pressure as it goes up, it would effectively allow the rocket cone to self-adjust the expansion rate on its own all the way up. So it produces, theoretically, it had produced or would have produced a huge increase in the overall fuel efficiency of the rockets. And now it's been proven that it can work. Um, it was made with this AI. I haven't read into a lot of how the AI played into the any of the import, but the or any of the importance um, part of it. But then they built into it a lot of the AI built into it a lot of cooling channels and a lot of all of internal plumbing into this thing that really wouldn't have been done by a human designer. It's just weird. And would be impossible normally with typical machining. It's got all sorts of internal plumbing and cooling channels and stuff that um, they printed it. They 3D printed it with copper. So this metal it's basically just a proof of concept. It's going to melt itself if you try to run it as a rocket engine going up. So they've got to figure out a lot more to this. But the 3D printing part of it um, is pretty interesting. The way they do it, they take a bunch of copper dust, basically, and then they have a high intensity laser from the top that goes and melts a layer of that dust. And then they add another layer of copper dust and melt on top of that. So layer upon layer upon layer upon layer, they melt and weld or whatever you want to call it, this whole thing together. And then they just remove all of the copper dust that hadn't been melted, and there you go. Um, Conceptually. In practice, it's a lot harder to do than that, but um, that's the idea behind, 3D printing functional metallic parts. So this rocket engine is a pretty big step. So if aerospike engines can be perfected for um, actual functional use, that would significantly reduce the amount of rocket propellant fuel, any sort of hydrocarbons or anything needed to burn to get stuff to orbit, massively reduce the environmental impact of uh, rockets and the space industry in general. So huge milestone if it can continue to play out. Um, I don't know how much 3D printing will continue to be integral into the whole concept as it continues, but um, it's pretty interesting, pretty exciting. So I think there's probably enough rocket news. Um,
Mhm.
maybe a little more rocket news
I
than
was
everybody had signed up for. But
I was gonna ask, um, like those rockets that go in the air, what are they taking up there?
not sure I follow. They're going where?
Oh no, I was asking what are the rockets that going up there? What are they taking?
To all the way up to space, or just the atmospheric rockets, or because
I
they
have
send
no
all
idea
kinds of
where those
stuff up.
rockets are going. You said they're
The
taking something up and they're coming back.
Yeah, the orbital rockets that they're doing are like the reusable, recoverable. So the Falcon Heavy that just went up was basically like three Falcon 9 boosters strapped together. So they land, it was kind of like landing three Falcon 9 boosters at the same time. You know how the boosters go up and land and everything. So that was that was what happened this morning. They were sending up a communication satellite for um, AST Mobile. So it's going to cover and massively increase the broadband capacity for people over in Southeast Asia. Um, uh, and Australia, New Zealand, you know, Five Eyes countries down there. Two of the Five Eyes countries down there, plus some of Micronesia and Indonesia, Polynesian Islands, so Southeast Pacific there, you know, plus. So that was
Yeah.
the one this morning, and then the other one was Amazon, Amazon's answer to SpaceX Starlink, the Atlas V on Monday. Um,
So are they putting satellites up there or are they just
yeah,
what's going on?
yeah, that's what these satellites are.
Okay.
It was one satellite on the Falcon Heavy this morning. Um, so they needed it because it was a big heavy satellite, and in order to get to orbital speed, it takes a lot of oomph, a lot of push, even though it's a low Earth orbit. But the Atlas V that went up on um, Monday was a single use, so they weren't landing anything there. It was expended, but that took up a batch of I think um, 20 uh, Amazon Leo satellites. So there was that there, but yeah, all of these rockets going up are taking stuff to orbit. You know, varying levels of orbit. Some of them are resupplying the space station. Um, you know, unless there's a big announcement, they're not going to the moon or anything. They make a big deal about the moon stuff. Oh, more rocket news. Okay, yeah. The Atlas, or not Atlas, the Artemis 3 um uh core just arrived at Kennedy Space Center from Louisiana this earlier this week. I can't remember if it was yesterday or Monday, but yeah, these rockets are so big. They assemble them over in like Alabama, Louisiana and stuff, but they assemble them by the coast because they can't load them on a truck and drive,
They're a
a
little too big for that.
10-story tall building down the interstate. They're wider than the interstate. It's a bigger, oversized, too oversized to be oversized. So the only way they can get them here is through, by barge through the intercoastal waterway here. We've got a gigantic bridge, over by Merritt Island, lifts up and then up the Banana River. I think the Banana River, I'm not sure. But yeah, the so Artemis 3 is starting to get put together.
Only a few more years away.
More moon nonsense.
So they're taking this on
another thing that I thought about, Kevin.
You think the moon is made of blue cheese?
I don't think we're getting the reference.
Okay. Well, I mean,
It's a simple question.
old days it was
If the
that
moon were made
the
of
moon
blue
was made of
cheese,
cheese, or
would
there
you
was a
eat it?
man on the moon. If the moon was made of blue cheese, I would say we're set for buffalo wings for the rest of humanity. We got the dip ready to go. We can mine it. We don't need to make it on
I
Earth
know I
anymore.
would.
So, here's another question. Okay, you have expressed your distaste for the dairy industry, for milk, and humans being the only species on Earth that consumes the milk of another. If the moon was made of blue cheese, would you eat it, since it obviously could not have come from a cow?
Maybe it's the blue milk from Tatooine.
Oh man.
Tatooine
That's
has yet to be
an
discovered in real life.
hmm?
Come again?
Tatooine has yet to be discovered in real life.
Well, no, I mean, that's a fictional planet. We're talking about a real hypothetical here. If the moon was made of blue cheese and mined and brought back here to Earth, thus cheese without coming from any cow or, goat or whatever, would you eat it? Because I like blue cheese. I don't see any problem.
I know I would. Like I
Yeah,
said, I'd have seconds.
seconds. Nice.
I'm not a big blue cheese fan, but being that it's coming from the moon, I mean that's possibly a one-time chance thing. So I'd do it. Yeah, I'd do it. Yeah, like one time opportunity thing seems like something you can't pass up. I mean, others might, but
Well, I mean, if we
might not
got an
get the
entire
chance.
moon of blue cheese, I don't think that's a one-time opportunity. We
Okay,
got
now that you put it like that, yeah, gotcha. Understood. Um, hey Toaster, hey Cake.
Hey, hey.
Mark, if you could go to space, would you?
I mean, I love roller coasters, but I'm claustrophobic.
Ugh.
I'd need to be
Mm.
sedated. So I
I
don't know if I'd remember. And if I can't remember a trip to to space, I guess it would just be to say that I'd been, knocked out.
Right.
My body has
Remember,
been to space. I can say that. I don't know if that's worth it, you know? Um,
um,
I don't know. If driving isn't allowed for people with epilepsy, I think rocket rides to space probably aren't either.
Well, we're not driving the rocket. We're just,
Exactly.
No, but NASA disqualifies people for all kinds of minor medical issues. And
Especially if you have anxiety getting in the
I think
rocket.
epilepsy is probably one of the big ones that they would not want to take a risk for somebody going into status epilepticus in a rocket capsule up in space where there is no
medical
medical
attention.
what about
attention,
Shatner?
no
He was
ER to bring
94
them to.
and he went into space.
Huh?
What about Shatner? He was
Does
really, really
Shatner
old.
have epilepsy?
No, but he was old.
Sure, but he didn't have epilepsy, which is what I'm talking about. The
I mean,
risk of triggering status epilepticus in a person with epilepsy when you would be sticking them in a capsule. I mean, we're not allowed to get scuba license, right? Because of the fear that we would be trapped underwater with a seizure without being able to get help to them. How is going to space that different? They put
no,
astronauts in pools of water to train them for zero G, right? I'd go
Need
on
a
the
there's,
vomit
license.
there's,
comet.
there's
I'd
risks
do
in
that.
everything.
If they let me, if I, could sign a waiver, yes, I have epilepsy. No, I don't care if I die. I'd ride the vomit comet. Um,
Mm, never heard of
but
it.
I doubt that NASA or SpaceX or Blue Origin would allow somebody with epilepsy um, to go on one of their rocket trips.
I think the benefits would outweigh the risk, depending on
Um,
how accomplished somebody is. If they have the opportunity to be the first person in space, and NASA could kind of spin that as, this is why this astronaut's extra special because this is the first person with, this disability or this condition making the trip. I could see it getting spun that way. Because there's a
well,
lot of us that go some years without seizures and don't let it hold us back from anything else.
well, don't not letting it hold yourself back is different from the agency having an institutional policy against it. So, um, doesn't matter if you're trying to, or if you're letting it hold you back or anything. Once you hit a brick wall, there is no further. You
Then
are
you gotta get
as
somebody on the
held
inside to
back
help you out.
as one can ever be once you're with your nose against a brick wall. When something is prohibited, it's just not gonna happen. So,
Eh,
I,
there's
I,
plenty of metaphors.
but I would go on the vomit comet. I would ride that airplane that they send in those parabolic arcs to give astronauts and I think some I remember
Like
seeing
training for
some news
astronauts or something.
article. Yeah, well, I
Oh,
mean to show people what the micro G, zero G feels like, because they're not really ever experiencing zero G. There's always under, they're always under the pull of the Earth. The difference is when they're inside of the cylinder of the airplane with no windows, there is no external reference point to see that you're just going like that. So when they're flying up, once they reach a point where they're in that parabolic arc, you're floating around because, there
That's how it
there is
works.
no acceleration in any direction aside from the pull of gravity.
Yeah, I can picture like
So that
closing your eyes and just kind of counting or like saying a prayer and like something would pass time with that. If you have no windows, no indication, no lights even of like something that would another little light comes on if you're in the next like stage of it or
oh,
something. But
it's not a sensory deprivation thing.
hmm,
It's, they have people there. It's all, well, it's just,
gotcha.
and all the sides are padded so you don't like
I'm picturing somebody
pass
floating around in a coffin when you
but
describe that.
you're yeah, it's all frame of reference. I mean, everything is frame of reference. In physics, everything, engineering, everything is frame of reference. What is the frame of reference? And if the frame of reference is accelerating and you're accelerating with it, then there is no relative acceleration if the system you're considering is the two of them together. They're just, you know,
There you go.
so uh,
By the way, I'm offering 100 Kevin points to whoever can spot that reference I made. Which baseball
This seems
announcer was that an impression of?
this seems very interesting, depending on what I can use
what
those Kevin points for.
was
Mhm.
what an impression of? I have no idea what you're talking about.
The,
If you get 100, if you
the,
get 1,000 Kevin points, you can tell him to shut the fuck up without any
I will not say it, Earl.
consequences.
Blue cheese of the moon reference. Uh,
Um,
who was I doing an impression of? Out there, if you can
Well, I
tell
can't
me,
do it without Googling. So in the spirit of complete honesty, will just say that if I come up with the answer, it's because I had to go there.
yeah,
And
you might have to.
if that is cheating, then,
I'll
then
just give you a
I
hint that it
don't
was a
know.
baseball announcer.
So I hear we've got some expertise in the group here with gardening. Anybody else have a green thumb? Good at getting stuff to grow?
I wouldn't say good, but the daylilies are blooming.
Okay, so you're growing flowers. Are you growing any like? Do you have a garden?
They're all over the yard, not
Nice.
the front yard, not the backyard. The backyard, the dogs would just kill them by peeing on them.
Ah, okay. So are the flowers growing like kind of how you intended, or did you like
Well,
sprinkle
some
the
of them
seeds and see what happens?
some of them I planted, and some of them we didn't know were there. That I guess were planted by the previous owners.
Oh, okay.
This is our
I
Oh,
first
do
sounds
spring,
successful.
so
I do garden. I'm not very good at it, but the only
um,
flower I ever got to ever plant was sunflower.
Okay.
But
Any tips for us first timers?
um,
mm,
quick one second.
Yeah, what's up?
Uh, animals peeing on stuff kills stuff. That it sounds like a very obvious question, but I've seen animals live near gardens. I didn't know they could affect that. Uh,
yes.
uh,
Good to know.
yeah,
I was thinking we should
yeah.
have like a little raised garden just because of they spray for um I think anyway. I think they spray for stuff around here. So I don't know. You guys ever figure out a way to just decide what the best kind of garden to have is?
Bulbs.
What's that?
Bulbs.
What do you mean? Oh, like indoor?
No, bulbs.
Yeah,
Flower
I don't know.
bulbs. Instead of
Hmm.
Never
perennials.
heard of that.
If you get bulbs, they come back every year, and so you don't have to keep replanting them.
Oh, okay. And those are flowers, or those are?
Flowers.
Oh, okay. All right. That's something to
Get a
think
good diversity of stuff in that garden, you know, because I do have a rodent problem around, so they always end up eating the plants, but try to get cages and stuff, but they get through. I get the
Mm.
hedgehogs or something, or
Oh
some
wow.
kind of tunneling, and they always get under stuff, and you know,
I never seen a hedgehog. Where do you find these? They're just running through your yard, you said?
I don't know. It's something that lives underground.
Vole.
I never seen it because they're nocturnal, and I wake up in the morning and all my tomatoes are gone.
Yeah.
More
Yeah,
interested in
once-
growing marijuana. Anybody else
Oh, that
with that?
tent.
Okay. So
Grow
that
tent
would
and
be
lights.
indoor or outdoor?
Indoor.
Indoor.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, get a grow tent, lights, and make sure you have a big enough bucket because they get root bound really easy.
What's that mean? Like they'll die fast, or?
Root bound, they grow so fast that you got to keep getting bigger pots.
Oh, like replanting,
Yeah.
like transplanting.
And sometimes it's just
I'm
easier to
way
start
new to all
big
these
pot.
gardening terms. Yeah, so the next question would just be where do you decide like what seed is for you? Or there's some websites out there and things that claim to have like all these purebred, I guess, seeds. I keep saying purebred. I know that's an animal thing. So yeah, I don't know where to start with the seeds either. You guys have any experience with that?
Only once you have the seeds.
That's what I mean. You never went
Yes.
through one of those websites just to buy the seeds?
Yeah, I
No.
got
I never really
What?
planted much.
Mm,
Watered the grass one year. Haven't done any gardening.
The guy I
That
used
sounds
to
fun.
work for had so many varieties. I don't know how he kept them all apart. I wasn't the big brain. That was his job. I just watered the plants.
There you go. So you would have expected the flowers to get like mixed up and start growing in.
Well, I know
Other
that the
sections?
males are, you don't want the males. And there
Oh,
is a
okay,
way
yeah.
to tell, and I forgot how.
Wait,
I
why
don't-
don't you want the males?
Because the males don't produce the flower.
Right.
Oh, makes sense.
And if you only really need one, and it will, if you just have one, and, oh yeah, and then you will have seeds forever.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, so
Oh.
we'll look into it. I'm just gonna get some more books off Kindle and read. See what we can learn.
Yeah, I never planted any weed in particular. Yeah, I didn't know that.
It's interesting. We'll look into it.
can't really
You
can't really do that here either.
Is that illegal there?
Yeah, it's only for medicinal use in PA.
At least you
So
got that
yeah,
far.
Yeah, that's good, and that's a start. It's always something to hold on to. Yeah.
There you go. So that's cool. What other topics are coming up today?
We're gonna talk the food ban in America. I wanted to talk that with Mark when Mark's get back. Mark, you there? But yeah, the food ban in Venezuela. I just found an article on it. They're banning Coca-Cola, and yeah, why doesn't America ban something like that? Because this is from a doctor. It says Venezuela bans artificial sweetener Coke Zero from the shelf, citing unspecified dangers in health. A couple days later, they mentioned that Coke Zero contains sodium calamate, which was banned in 1969 from the U.S. for causing cancer and reproductive harm. Of course, Coke denies this. The doctor's note says, I was amazed to finally see a country stepping up to protect the health of the people rather than the profit. Unfortunately, the United States is a profit-driven nation, and the health of the citizens takes a backseat to the profit in many instances. See some examples include H1N1 shots being approved after being only a 3-month study on rats, or the FDA's approval on aspartame or aspartame,
Aspartame.
with no come again.
Aspartame.
Aspartame. Okay. It's also part of my eyes with my reading. With no long-term and valid studies on its safety, and as well as refusing to take off the market, although it has been proven toxic, or allowing the use of hydrogenated oils and letting companies advertise their products as having 0 grams of trans fats, although it clearly contains it. Obviously, our citizens are among the least healthy in the world, largely due to big businesses and ruthless pursuit of profit. Many of our big food producers and health agencies are run by greedy people who can care less about the health of people. Hopefully, one day we will have a leader who can change all that. Yeah, this is a very small article from a doctor himself.
When was it
we should
written?
follow.
Because they banned Coke Zero all the way back in 2009 under Hugo Chavez. That was strictly political. So if this is a Venezuelan doctor writing an article
I think it might be a
under the
U.S. doctor.
Chavez regime, then that would just be propaganda. When was it written? Because Coke Zero being illegal or banned is not new in Venezuela.
The article literally has like no anything for me to like read to you that says anything.
Yeah, so it was just old propaganda
And then
from
there's just so many other articles about stuff that they don't ban in America, but they ban other places. And one was like the snacks and stuff. Oh my goodness, I should have had these articles ready, and I didn't.
I'm sorry, I have to go. I know it wasn't on long. Peace, y'all.
Have a good one.
Everybody out there watching, press that thumbs up button.
Regardless of, regardless of propaganda or whatever, is there no footing in this that we live in a government that puts money over our health? That we do not that essentially what we eat is crap, and that this what we eat will, in the long term, shorten our life.
Yeah, I didn't know about
Okay, Mr. Conspiracy Theory.
Not a conspiracy.
I mean, you literally described a conspiracy. They put money, they put money ahead of profit, and they do. I mean, you described a conspiracy to
Safe to say money over health because
put
it's not like they play
money
safe.
over the health of Americans for the sake of profit on the part of a small number of people. Literally conspiracy. Like
What is the point of
definitely.
capitalism?
Huh?
What is the point of capitalism?
Free markets and
And what's the
uh,
point of free markets? It's to make money.
freedom.
The most is that's a cop out. It's to
No,
make the most money, as much money, with no regard. So that would mean if people die,
freedom to practice commerce as one chooses. What is your proposal as an alternative system then?
the greater good is to look out for people.
That is not an answer. What is your alternative?
Is okay. Let's look at Europe. They don't force this crap down our throats, or down their throats. They
See,
don't.
that's okay. Literally, what aboutism? They
I
a
swear to God, if
special
you use that word one
subtype
more
of
time,
red herring, as we
I can
talked
look it up.
about, as we found in the dictionary, actual word, subtype of red herring, moving the definite or moving the discussion, look at this place, look over here. What about this? What about Europe? Answer the question, really. What is your
well, I'm trying to
what is
find a
your
real life
alternative?
example.
Well, no, you don't need a real life example. You just describe it. What is your alternative? I didn't need a real life example. I used my words, nouns,
Okay.
adjectives, verbs, you know.
So you're asking
What
like,
about
what's a better way to sell healthy food
No,
and still
I'm
make money?
asking Kevin, what is his alternative? He's
We're going to have to
attacking
change
the idea
culture.
of capitalism. I defined what I see as capitalism and ask him if he is against that, what system, what alternative, what is
No,
his
not exclusively
proposal?
pertaining to food.
No,
Oh,
he's attacking, he's talking free markets. This is
then I realized we switched back to the big picture. I was
no,
still thinking like
yeah,
if we take the
I
real
am
health.
Kevin,
attacking capitalism because it
what
takes
is your
advantage of
alternative?
people.
I mean, what is
That's
your alternative to the system that I described? The description of capitalism that I gave you, freedom to ply commerce as one chooses without restriction. I mean, technically, we don't live in a pure capitalism right now,
don't.
especially not as I defined it.
Wait, capitalism is not a form of government.
No,
In fact, it's not
It's,
even in the Constitution.
no, that doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It's
do you
a
guys ever
form
get
of
manicures?
economics. It's
Notice like
economic
dry cuticle
policy.
with different hand
Like,
soaps.
just like socialism isn't in some other places, governments. It's
Technically,
just a
technically,
part
wait,
of what. So, Kevin, what is your alternative to the system that I described?
something
Let's
like
let's make it a multiple choice question.
a
You want to get
more
No,
points?
perfect
Oh,
union,
no,
Is that
I
something
did
let
else?
not
him
get.
answer.
I did not
addressing
get,
the
nor did I
welfare of
give
the
a
people.
multiple choice answer.
Shut up. Addressing
No, don't tell me to
welfare
shut up when I'm
of
talking to
the
Kate.
people. Country for the welfare of the people. That's what I would like to see.
That's woo-woo
Not
bullshit.
not for
That
1%.
is not
The
a
people.
practical. That is
That's
not
in the
an answer.
Constitution.
The people is in the Constitution. That's not an answer. What is the alternative
That is an
that you would
answer.
see?
I would like to
As
see
opposed to
government work
maximum
for
freedom
me.
to ply commerce as one chooses, what do you propose?
Well, it's not working very well.
I did not say, okay, whatever. You're dodging the question because you don't have an answer.
And
You're
what's your
just
fucking
attacking
question?
capitalism blindly because that's what you've been told to do. Come on, give an
By who?
answer. By all of the indoctrination that you've been given. I don't know.
Well, we were working well for a while.
Okay, great dodge again. Give an answer.
Okay.
Anyway, what I was asking, does anybody
No,
notice if you use different hand strokes?
Don't give him an out. Kevin, give an answer.
Yeah, but I mean, time
So,
moves
so
on. Let
what?
him.
What was your question?
No. Kevin, give an answer.
Okay, Mark,
What
can
was
we
your-
agree to give Kevin a time to come up with a satisfactory
Stop
response
interrupting
and
him
bring it
then.
up another
Kevin,
day?
give an answer.
And your question was
What is the
something
alternative
besides
to
capitalism?
the capitalism that I described? What is your alternative to capitalism that you're attacking?
And I
the
think your
description of
answer to
capitalism that
capitalism
you
was
forced me to
bullshit.
give. Saying it's bullshit is not an alternative. What is the alternative?
I think you dodged the question.
I did not dodge the question. I posed the question.
No.
What is the alternative?
Saying capitalism is freedom.
No,
That's
I said
indoctrination. You
maximum
bought that. You drank the.
freedom to ply commerce as one chooses. Okay? Capitalism, as I see it and have defined it in this context. Okay? You opposed that. So,
I
what
do
is your
oppose.
alternative? What are you?
Okay, I'll tell you what I oppose. I
That's not,
oppose
that's not the alternative. That's just bitching. What is the alternative system? How
the
would you?
alternative system is helping the people.
That's not an answer.
Well, it's not what this
Okay.
country is
People
doing.
can get helped in a system of free markets. Okay, that's
No, they
just
can't. No, they can't. Free market does not help people, it oppresses them.
no, it doesn't.
All right,
Okay.
so let's agree
Yeah,
to disagree
so
on
we've
this one.
both made
Come
equally
on, you guys, be grown ups. Let's
supported
move on.
and thus equally valid points, and only I have actually made an actual substantial statement without dodging anything. So, high school debaters would know that I just won.
You win because you say you win.
No, I won because rules of debate. I don't know.
It's all
You
good. We
ever
have
take
fun in these
debate?
deep discussions.
I guess
Oh.
you probably didn't take debate. That's okay.
Dude, don't be passive aggressive like that.
No, it's not. Just yeah.
Oh, now you're acting like a housewife on a soap opera.
What's wrong with housewives?
You're a little bitch. It's what you are.
Housewives are little bitches.
All right, well,
Right.
now we're not on any specific topics. So
All right.
you guys can take this up on your own if you'd like. This seems like a discussion that's never going to end. Do you guys notice
Sometimes
birds
they don't.
sing more on gloomy days? When it's more of a rainy day, I don't see the sky out. I hear the birds so much more. Does that happen around you? When it's rainy, the birds are out more, it seems like.
No.
I mean,
I
not storm, not full blown storm, but
If there's clouds out, there might be no rockets, and Mark might have a panic attack.
You know that
Don't
whataboutism
worry
is a
about
word,
it, Kev.
Kevin?
Don't worry about
Is that
it.
a
Yeah, you
whataboutism?
see, Kevin? You
Try
see?
go
Told you.
10 minutes without
Told
mentioning
you.
Marcy.
Told you,
Let's go on from
Kevin.
that.
Rookie
Whataboutism
confirmed.
is actually a word. Uh,
Ha ha ha.
it is a deflection tactic and a rhetorical device that is used to evade criticism, or difficult questions by countering with a similar, often unrelated
Yeah,
accusation
I know
or
it's a. I know it
allegation
was a
of
word. Like
hypocrisy.
You said it
we
wasn't
agreed
a word
upon
a
the
while
fact that it
ago.
was a word like 2 months ago.
You never conceded that fact.
I
Uh,
did.
I thought
No, you
I
didn't.
thought I just heard you say it's not a word.
Mm.
It kind of is actually.
Yeah, definitely kind of is. More of a word than LOL for sure.
Acting like a semantic dick again.
Okay, so check it out. We've got a quick
Can't
little
help it.
inpatient procedure coming up
I
for
cannot
my son.
help your limitations or your limited vocabulary.
We're getting out today to get ready for this surgery. Anybody have tips on what to bring or how to be ready for an inpatient thing? I mean, it's supposed to be like an outpatient procedure, but we got to get there the night before because they want him there really early in the morning. So, do you guys remember anything that made a hospital stay any easier last time?
I don't remember the last time. Yeah, I can't remember the last time.
He's handling this like a pro. It's a procedure on his left hand, and they wanted us to start washing his arm 2 days before with like dish soap. And yeah, we're finding ways to make that fun. So we're going to start with that and then figure out how to make tomorrow distracting enough not to eat any solid foods and go from there. So I'm gonna head out and start getting ready for the trip. Hope to see you guys again soon. Later.
Take care, Kate.
All right. There was a few things here that I was looking at that think foods that were not allowed in the U.S. But I didn't know some of these weren't allowed in some snacks like the Kinder eggs. Certain schools they can't go in. They took them out of schools, but didn't take them out of the U.S.
Are those the ones that have like a little toy inside or something? Or
I think so.
Yeah, it says the FDA relented slightly in 2017 when Kinder Joy eggs were introduced in the States. The treats remain egg-shaped, but in the middle and remains edible, but non-edible portions are separately inside the packaging. Authentic Kinder Surprise eggs are still banned, but travelers who visit Canada, Europe, and other many parts of the world can try the real deal. Just don't bring any home with you in your suitcase. I've seen those in some stores, but I didn't know that they shouldn't be here. And it said in the child care system as well.
Probably because there's a choking hazard with the small toy.
I mean, they were a bad idea from the start. It's not a big loss if they get banned. I don't know.
And maybe they have peanuts in them, so their people with peanut allergies can have very severe reactions. So maybe they're made with peanuts.
Of just realizing the irony of the statement I just made, considering the statements I was making like 10, 15 minutes ago about free market capitalism. I don't care if these things get banned. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely know one that you don't care gets banned, but it's kangaroo is one also.
What?
Kangaroo, I've heard of people saying they ate it actually coming on one of the meetings here. And yeah, indigenous people of Australia have long consumed and managed kangaroo meat, which eventually made its way to the United States. In 1970s, concerns over animal welfare and impact on kangaroo populations led to Governor California Governor Ronald Reagan to sign legislation banning the sale of kangaroo meat and leather, which went into effect in 1973.
Kangaroo,
And
kangaroo leather. That makes no sense. That would be kind of cool.
yeah, I think they sell something. What's that one restaurant? They sell kangaroo, and it's a chain of restaurants. I forgot it. And they sell ostrich as well. I see the look on Andrea's face. Yeah, they have ostrich burgers. You guys look
Can't
like
imagine seeing any of. I can't imagine
Seen
seeing any
ostrich
of that in
burgers
the grocery
before.
store.
Yeah, I've seen ostrich before. Ostrich burger, not in
uh,
a grocery store, but I've seen it on menus in like the weird, you know, places. Um, Overpriced for what it is. It's kind of like a glorified turkey burger.
glorified turkey burger. That sounds interesting when you put the
Guess you
glorified
don't
in
get
there.
this stuff at the Outback Steakhouse.
To
Um,
what?
The,
The,
the Outback Steakhouse. They don't serve this.
oh, yeah, no.
It was a joke.
Yeah,
Because
there's I wonder if mass um what is it the term? Not cultivation, but if ostriches fart less methane than cows, fart and burp less methane than cows, if ostriches could be a more economical
sounds like it would.
I know birds
Be-
do. Yes, fowl.
poultry in
And
general.
yes.
I
We
wonder if
can
there's
cut back
enough
on
meat
meat.
on an ostrich, given how much time it takes to grow. Do they just eat grass, like, or I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Can you put
These
an
are
ostrich on a farm?
these are questions. Yeah, I gotta keep these questions to myself for my upcoming planned ostrich farming venture. Sell them
Like you're
to
gonna make.
Outback. I need to grow enough ostriches to supply Outback Steakhouse. That's a lot of ostriches, man.
Oh, you
Depending
can
on how
farm
popular
ostrich.
the burgers would be, I guess. I don't know. We'd need to make them like really talk them up in order to get people to buy them in quantities enough to make it worthwhile.
You can have an ostrich steak, and you can farm ostrich in the U.S. Has anyone ever seen an ostrich?
Emus.
Huh?
Yes, I have. I don't know. They were just in, I don't know, a farm somewhere. I don't know
Uh,
if it was like one of those
oh,
exotic petting
oh
zoos
yeah,
or something.
Kevin. I have the article here for you about the. I think the woman was charged 2 years. It says OC mother charged after teen son critically injures the 81-year-old man. You weren't here last week, but I have that one for you because you were talking about how bad they are where you're at. I don't go out much. I mean, not too far to see that into the city. It's kind of quiet over here where we're at. But yeah, there are a lot of kids on those scooters, but they're in the street because the school gives it to them, or they pay for it, and
All
then it
right.
goes to the school. The article here says an Orange County mother is facing felony charges after prosecutors say her teenage son critically injured an 81-year-old man by crashing into him while riding an electric motorcycle. The crash happened last week, and the victim remains in the hospital in critical condition. Prosecutors say the woman was warned about letting her son illegally ride the e-motorcycle before the crash, as Ed Ashman fights for his life in the hospital after being struck by the 14-year-old boy illegally riding the motorcycle. In Lake Forest, the teen's mother is facing consequences. She's looking at over 6 years in state prison. Whoa. Orange County District Attorney Todd Splitzer told Eyewitness News. Splitzer says his office has charged 50-year-old Tommy Joe Mayer with felony count of child endangerment, one felony count of accessory after the fact to a crime, one misdemeanor count of contributing to delinquency of a minor, and misdemeanor count of loaning a motorcycle vehicle to an unlicensed driver, and one misdemeanor count of providing false information to a peace officer. She was arrested on Tuesday. I am going to prosecute parents to the fullest extent of the law, Splitzer said. As parents, whether you like it or not, we're responsible for the conduct of our children. Last week, investigators said Mayer's son was riding a e-motorcycle doing wheelies outside of an El Toro high school when he crashed into Ashman, a Vietnam War veteran and beloved substitute teacher substitute teacher and citizen who was walking home from work. He is now hospitalized in critical condition. We are praying that this substitute teacher will have a full recovery and that the charges don't change at all. Oh, wow. We read another article on this last week when you weren't here, but I didn't know 6 years. And that was a lot of different charges. A lot of different charges. Personally, I don't feel like she should be having that much time. That's a lot of time away from the kid as well.
I think the distinction here would be e-bike versus e-motorcycle, because motorcycles are much bigger and heavier and go much faster than an e-bike.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if there were no
Pedals?
bicycle pedals on the thing, it was never a bicycle. So that's something that is regulated by the DMV. Technically, if you're not old enough to operate a motor vehicle, you're not supposed to be operating one of those, especially not anywhere near any public roadways, let alone doing wheelies on a sidewalk. Public property. Private property is the only place an underage kid would be allowed to ride one of those electric dirt bikes. And, if they don't have acres of private property, then he has no business having access to one of those at all.
Here's another article on that. It says the law says e-bikes manufactured to stay under 20 miles per hour have no age or licensing restrictions, but those have been modified or can reach higher speeds are considered e-motorcycles and require a motorcycle license, insurance, and registration. It could go up to 60 miles per hour with that particular model, and it could go from 35 miles per hour in 2 or 3 seconds. Investigators say Mayer was warned by sheriff deputies about letting her son illegally ride the motorcycle last June of last year. Mayer reportedly called sheriff's department complaining that a neighbor was posting pictures of her son riding the e-motorcycle, saying he was out of control. The sheriff's department says it spent nearly 30 minutes explaining to her that her son could not legally ride the e-motorcycle, that she would face criminal charges if she continued to let him. Oh, wow. I didn't know they told her before. That's why I should have read multiple articles. Yeah. She sounds like she's been going through this for some time. They took pictures of her son and stuff. So, yeah. I don't think 6 years, that's a lot to take a kid away from their mother. But, yeah, now that I read this other article, it says she was axed multiple times. And Yeah. But it also said you had to get a license and stuff like that. I didn't know that because I know people out here who have just regular e-bikes, but it does go
You don't
faster
have to
than
have
most
one.
bikes.
You don't have to have a license for an e-bike, but you do for a motorcycle because it's a motor vehicle.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Yeah, they have them, but they call them regular bikes out here because they pedal, but you can go really fast on those. And yeah. But you guys, oh no, you guys don't have kids, so can't ask that question.
You know, like imagine a situation. Um, most of the fastest crowded area of electrical or e vehicles are around University City. That's where it gets really cramped, and some of the students come up on the sidewalk and they'll zoom in and out of you. But it's like on the those sideboard skateboards, that all the tech dorks use. Um, but and sometimes on the yeah, it's more annoying, and scary, but you still think there should be uh, a little more respect, a little more. Just they should respect the rules of sidewalk because something could happen. They could easily run into someone, but you don't hear that a lot, so or ever. But
Everybody out there watching, press that thumbs up button. It's a
you
lot of
more or
people
less
right now.
hear of cyclists getting hit a lot. Yeah, that's very common. Yeah,
Cyclists get hit a lot, you said?
yeah, we get hit every so often. Not so much
Yeah.
pedestrians.
Yeah, like you said, you live in a college town. Yeah, that's rough. We don't have them everywhere here. We have mostly kids on these electric scooters and a few people on those bikes that are really fast. Yeah, and they go through stop signs and hear horns and stuff. So that is kind of a problem, but not like you said there. Nobody's getting hit by a car, but they're just creating a problem flying through traffic. Um, did you guys know that Iceland is widely recognized for having the highest per capita consumption of Coca-Cola in the world? Yeah, it
That's
says
interesting.
Icelanders consume approximately 30 gallons of the beverage annually. The high consumption rate is notably per capita record through the nation and roughly 370,000 people. I don't drink Coca-Cola. I don't know if you guys do, but uh, oh, Kevin has one in his hand. It says high consumption. Icelanders are frequently cited as the top consumers, often alongside Mexico in global rankings. The cultural context, the high consumption is sometimes humorously linked to the popularity of hot dogs, which is a staple of fast food in Iceland. Other records in Iceland hold several per capita records, including rates of internet usage, seafood consumption, and cinema attendance.
Makes me wonder if they don't have the variety of sodas that we do.
Mm.
Yeah, I would suspect that that's probably true. They um
Mm. No.
There's something else here that says a hot dog and a Coke. Uh, just another Iceland thing. Icelanders drink the most Coca-Cola per capita on Earth. Not what you were expecting from Iceland, huh? It's true. They're Coca-Cola crazy. The triple 30-gallon Oh, the tipple 30 gallons, 115 liters of the classic variety every year. You got to wash all those hot dogs down with something. They're also hot dog crazy, complete with fried onions, fresh onions, ketchup, peculiar sweet mustard, and a fresh bun. You can find these anywhere in Iceland, but get the best. Uh, that's some word that's not made in this country, but it means near the harbor. After all, Bill Clinton had one there, and he knows a thing or two about fast food.
They got no sauerkraut on their hot dogs. You gotta have
Not
sauerkraut.
sure. I didn't look up if they have sauerkraut, but hot dogs and Coke is a big thing in Iceland. I didn't look this up before. I want to make sure I look at this with you guys. Mark, you
What do
drink
you guys
Coca-Cola?
like on?
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
Go ahead, Andrea.
I was just gonna say, what do you guys like on your hot dog?
Uh, I haven't had a hot
Chili.
dog in so long. I've had a chili dog recently, but not a hot dog. Uh,
Chili is just a topping on a hot dog. That counts.
oh,
I like
okay. Well, I've had a hot dog.
sauerkraut and
Or
mustard.
That's a
they have
classic.
these bacon wrap dogs. There's a bunch of people in stands everywhere around here, but they have these bacon wrap dogs with onions and other stuff. I don't like onions a lot unless they're grilled, but
Do they have chili to put on them?
they did not.
Oh, lame.
Um, this is a real agricultural county, I should say. So they should have been somewhere, but not at this one. This is just like some regular stand. They're just expecting people to pass at one random corner. Like there's a gas station and then food truck on the corner. Um, and they get a lot of traffic. So also being a gas station right there. Um, do you guys know that any other, what is it, beverages that are banned here because they have, oh my goodness, I get tongue tied. They have a long list here, but I didn't want to go through it if you guys didn't know any already.
Absinthe.
Come again?
I don't know. Is absinthe legal here? I don't know.
I
Absinthe
don't
is
know.
never illegal. It's just not made. It's
Oh,
bullshit. It's delicious, but I don't drink anymore, which is a shame. But none of the absinthe makers, none of the distilleries that I liked that still make it, they all went out of business. But Marteau's was really good. Um, Butterfly Absinthe was really good. Um, that one was made from a recipe that was found in a submerged bottle in the Boston Harbor that was dated back to like the um, early uh, 19th century. That's early 19th century. So that was a recreation of a um, genuine Enlightenment era absinthe, and it was delicious. So it had a little, it's like a minty tinge to it. It's yummy.
okay. I don't know why I thought it was illegal. I thought it was like a hallucinogen or something.
It's a widespread myth. Yeah.
Oh,
There was I think it started because of the wormwood that was part of the base of what makes absinthe. Um, and there was something about it that was related to THC that I think somebody thought was, oh, poofy. Somebody thought would cause, I don't know. Let me look it up. Yeah, but I mean, you're not alone in that, and it's a really everybody thinks that it's um I don't hold on.
Since you're in Florida, Mark, did you know that Queen Conch is harvesting them is illegal in states like Florida?
Yeah, protected species. It was over harvested for a long time.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Okay,
it was illegal.
so absinthe is not hallucinogenic. The belief that it causes psychedelic effects is a myth largely stemming from 19th century anti-alcohol campaigns and um, exaggerated poor quality imitations. Modern science has proven that thujone, the compound in wormwood long blamed for the myth, exists in too low a concentration to cause hallucinations, with high proof alcohol being the only intoxicating agent. So yeah, it was yeah. Bans were lifted in most places. Oh yeah, I guess it was banned in U.S. until 2007. So yeah, I guess I was wrong when I said it was never illegal. Yeah, cool.
Seems most of the drinks that are illegal are just alcohol and stuff. Four Loco, the original Four Loco. That's
But
just caffeine.
that
It's a
makes
highly
sense.
caffeinated alcohol beverage.
Yeah, that makes sense though, because those drinks caused a lot of chaos. I don't know if it was the same up in, well, I don't know, because Florida is the spring break state, and on top of Florida having a lot of big universities that also do spring break themselves, but they also party year round here too. So there's always a lot of chaos, a lot of destruction, a lot of um, law enforcement expenses around the spring break time. And when Four Loco hit the market, it really spiked because it was keeping these kids awake at past the point of blacking out, and they were
Well,
still buzzing and doing all kinds of craziness. So, um, yeah, I can get behind um, restricting the caffeine content in uh, pre-packaged beverages like that. If they want to drink the energy drinks separately, that's fine. That's on them. But it's a lot harder to pound
yeah,
that many cans of Monster when it's not also the primary intoxicating agent, you know.
right. Yeah.
Um, yeah, my roommate broke his foot trying to kick in a hotel room door that was not his own. Um,
Oh yeah.
at least that's why he was told his foot was broken. Who knows who was in that hotel room?
Oof.
Um, and
Um,
it,
Another
and that
reason I
was
don't
not
drink
that
either.
was
Yeah.
not even an abnormal story on that campus alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, I
God
wanted to
damn it,
talk.
Richie.
Oh no, this popped up. Shh.
Oh.
Mark, what do you know about UFOs and stuff?
Oh, what do you want to know about UFOs and stuff?
Well, I mean, I didn't know much about them, but
Um, I am
I
fascinated
see.
by the topic. I've seen something I was not able to identify when I was watching a rocket launch one time. So I don't know. I guess that would count as UFO. UAP is the preferred identity now. They've transitioned. So UAPs now. UFO is disrespectful.
The
But
aliens get
What is
offended
like?
if you don't say it
yes,
right.
yes. Yeah. UAP is
What
the
does
true
UAP mean?
identity. Huh? Unidentified aerial phenomena. Um,
Uh,
which makes sense because I mean, when something is a light that is visible and, registers on, thermal or whatever, but does not produce any, does not reflect any radar like any solid object would, is it a flying object if it's not a solid object? Or is it just an aerial phenomenon that is producing light and these other trickeries on military hardware? So, I don't know. I think that the name is better, certainly more reflective of their actuality. Um, it doesn't change anything about them though. Um, I don't know. I believe more in um the phenomenon themselves or the aerial phenomena themselves than the abduction reports, um, which is not to be disrespectful to those people's lived experience and whatnot, but um, I don't know, having been the victim of epilepsy, I have experienced a lot of weirdness from my brain that, you know, so I'm kind
Could
of
be explained.
familiar with what kind of nutso experiences can come from the brain without actually being tied to something else. So, not to say that they were having seizures either. It's just I don't know. Those are more difficult to approach, especially without actually talking to the people. And after what I just said, I'm pretty sure none of them would want to talk to me. Because that sounds kind of dickish now that I think about it. But um, yeah, the lights themselves, or if you want, have you seen The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch? Just the History Channel show?
I haven't watched it yet.
I heard about it. Didn't check it
You,
out.
you've heard about it? Kevin, you've seen it?
Have not,
No, but heard about it? I
no,
thought I thought I saw your head nodding there.
no.
Um,
It just sounded
um,
interesting.
it's hold on. Mike, Mike, Mike.
Um,
Ah. Yeah, it's really interesting because there are certain areas where there are hot spots, as they call them, where people report seeing these lights and things far more frequently than in other places. And one of these hot spots for this stuff is over in Utah in the Uinta basin there. There's always been, a history of strange lights and things, and there's Native American legends of um, um, entities they call skinwalkers. Um, that's a whole other legend to get into, but the lights themselves are definitely there. There's also been a lot of other supernatural experiences, like visitations of things that previous owners had reported, um, that, they had poltergeist-like activity of the cabinets being flung open and objects flying across the room, and they'd apparently reportedly seen something akin to like a portal opening and something like another world or something visible through this. And something came through the portal. Uh, I'm probably butchering a lot of the details of these stories, but um, the 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 Sherman family that had owned the ranch back in the early 90s then sold it, and um, the man who bought it was Robert Bigelow, who is the owner of Bigelow Aerospace, who's a big um, contractor for the uh, U.S. Uh, Defense Department, I guess Department of War now. But they had him studying these phenomena there, which a lot of people thought was really weird, that the United States government was funding a private company to research these lights and things and weird um, poltergeist stuff. Cattle mutilations, another thing that were happening there. A cow would be perfectly fine um, in the morning, and then just a couple hours later, they'd find that cow dead, apparently just like dropped over dead, nothing having approached it or left any tracks. And there would be like surgically removed parts of the cow, usually something like the eye. They often removed the reproductive organs, um, and um, yeah, so they had these towers built at certain locations with fenced-in pens, and they had animals there that they kind of tested, used for testing, watched to see what would happen to those cows that they left out there in the pens. Everything that they found is all classified and kept away from everybody, but it was seriously researched by the government. And after a while, apparently, they did whatever they got satisfied enough and sold it to a guy who has now started a TV show about it, and he's determined to figure out the secret of Skinwalker Ranch. So,
Mm.
yeah, they're doing all kinds of investigations. They're trying to see what's happening, and they're getting weird readings on scientific instruments that are not should not be happening. Um, and yeah, it's bizarre. You should check it out. If you're interested, if your interest has been piqued into UFOs, you should check out that show. That's a pretty good one. Um, and Beyond Skinwalker Ranch is another one that kind of goes to a few of these other UFO hotspots, and shows, there's some of these ranches that have some very similar sort of stuff happening, lights and
There's
animals dying.
there's like a lot of different roads around here, and some of them they block off, and it says no access to the public, Army access only, and stuff like that. Just random roads, and a lot of ranches to where I was on the train one time, and they told everyone on the other side to close their windows, and that there's some army base on there. I was talking to the people over there because I was on the opposite side, but I was talking to the people over there, and they were like, "There's something that they tell some reason they tell us to close those windows. Something the army has that they don't want us to see or something." And I was thinking, what would they do if we open the windows or something? If you move the curtain, but some lady was just like, "No, I'd rather not have the problems. I'd rather just take my ride and go." And I was like, "I understand you." Uh, but what could they be hiding in the middle of the desert? Uh,
Where
I
they
don't
keep the
know.
aliens.
Yeah. Or I mean, just any sort of testing, anything that they're doing there. Um, you might, I mean, the high altitude aircraft flying over Nevada might be visible from that far away. When you think about how far away that Atlas V rocket launch was visible, it went all the way up the East Coast, and people as far inland as Tennessee were able to see that rocket. Um, if the military is testing, Lockheed Skunk Works is right out there over in California, so that's another thing they might be. Um, all right, hold on, let me see,
um,
double check.
Government kind of lost
what's
their
caught
mind
my
after 9/11. They kind of went loopy and they're a little overprotective. And to say a little overprotective is saying that nicely. So
I
they're
don't think
uh,
they went overprotective. They've always had strict security about classified operations. Yeah,
mm,
Skunkworks
well,
is located in Palmdale, California. I don't know how close that is to where you are, but
that's
that's
close,
that's that's close.
less than an hour.
Yeah, that's where all of like Lockheed Martin's most secret, highly classified um stuff was built and test. Lockheed Skunk Works. Let's see if I can get a list of projects they did. Oh man, they've got so many experimentals. Um, F-35 was developed there. F-22 was developed there. F-117 Nighthawk, so the stealth fighter was developed there. The Blackbird was developed there. Um, D-21 is an American supersonic reconnaissance drone, was developed there. Um, hmm, what else? Oh, F-104 Starfighter, uh, P-80 Shooting Star, P-38 Lightning, yeah, some miniature UAVs. Uh,
Um,
oh, X-59 Quest.
there was some sightings here I seen on the news, and that's what caught my attention. Is they apparently see a lot of UFO sightings or just sightings they can't explain. And it's the first time I've seen one on the news. I've never lived in a county where they say they see this often. And they said there was over 40 reports in the county. Um, Notably, incidents include sightings of a tic-tac shaped objects in the nearby Clovis, strange, multicolored, and slow-moving lights observed by residents.
That's pretty interesting. You got to keep an eye up at the sky and have your camera ready. I expect a report. If you see anything, yeah.
I, honestly, I didn't know what to think about it. I was just like, are they serious? This happens around here? But it was on the news that they seen, what does it say? An amorphous blue blob. Um,
Okay.
and I was thinking, this is not something I'm not sure if I want to see these things. I was just like, I'd never lived in a place so far from a lot of traffic to where they're talking about aliens. Uh, Yeah, I mean, I always had my assumptions, but I never heard it talked about on the news. And to come here, my mom talk about it like, oh yeah, there was one this year back or this year back, and then someone on the news are talking about a couple months ago, and yeah, and then that's when my mom was telling me about the bases over here and stuff, and that's the reason they closed the windows. And I asked someone about the windows, and oh yeah, I said that. And she said it's not worth the problem to open. But I was thinking if I do open one of those windows in the area that they say close the windows, would I be breaking a law? Or do you think the train is just telling us that?
I don't know. You should ask one of the train people if there are train people.
Um, I was on the wrong side that day. I was on the other side, and on the other side, they were telling those people to close their windows. I mean, so next time I could sit on that side and then ask them, why should I close it? I put up a big fuss, and they'd be like, it's going to come in a minute. And I'd be like, so tell me why I should close this.
Mm.
Hassle them. And they'd be
Yeah,
like, we're coming up on a mile.
figure it out.
Yeah, I was just wondering if they would really make a problem if I really was just made a fuss about closing my window. Uh,
I mean, yeah, it
do you
might.
think we would literally be like, ooh, look at that? Or what if my
Um,
stop is the next stop? So if they put me off, I don't care. I mean,
it's
not that
probably,
stop is close to that, but
yeah, it's probably like a just in case thing,
just in
better
case
to,
what?
just in case the military is testing anything classified over there or Lockheed or whatever. Is it the side or the direction um, that
My
Lockheed would
mom's
be
front
in for
porch is
the,
looking in that direction that you're talking about. So
yeah,
something is, if I was to look out the front porch, if you're talking about the Lockheed thing, it's directly in front, but it's of course miles away. But yeah, I don't know if I want to see an alien. To be honest.
it wouldn't be
Uh,
an alien. It'd be like an advanced Air Force thing. Because, anything that they actually acknowledge that has actually been shown to the public is already probably years behind what they've actually been able to do. That's kind of the rule of thumb. Usually they're about 10 years ahead of whatever. So, if you think back, um,
Oh, bummer.
yeah,
There were a lot of UFO sightings back when the stealth came out and they were doing testing on it.
right. Yeah, a lot of mysterious black triangles and the stealth
Yep.
fighter. Yeah. So,
um, do you guys hear about any UFO sightings where you're at? It just interested me that they're so close. I've never been in an area that actually said there was something happening. Uh, I always lived
yeah.
in like towns that are like heavily populated, or the areas. But like I said, this was a desert before this little town was built. So, uh,
There's so much air traffic around here, I don't think anyone pays attention.
have they ever
Yeah.
Yeah.
talked about aliens?
Not that I remember.
Yeah. Orlando
Um,
International is one of the busiest airports in the world. So the air traffic over all of Central Florida is a mess. But when you get to the coasts, the coastal Florida area, especially near the bigger military installations, Jacksonville is big, big, big for the Navy. And there's sightings off the coast around Jacksonville in the Atlantic. Um, Cape Canaveral Space Force Base right there. There's sightings of stuff around rockets. Eglin Air Force Base up in on the Panhandle, near Tallahassee. So it can't be a coincidence that a lot of these things are being seen around our Air Force bases and naval stations, you know. So, um, I don't know.
Uh,
The conspiracy theorists would say, well, the aliens are interested in our military technology. Um, it's more likely that's our military technology. We're
mm,
just that cool that, you think we're aliens, but we're, yeah, we're that smart.
I don't think they got here for 10 minutes and said, no, no intelligence here, and left.
Huh? I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I missed.
like like they actually got here and said, this is not a place of value, and they just left.
I don't know.
They're like, this place sucks, and they just left.
I
I
don't
mean, if
see
they
any
are so
reason why they
advanced,
would or wouldn't be interested at all in
yeah,
anything.
I don't think they would be interested in us. So like I mean, they can travel across space. Why would they be interested in the internet?
um, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. What do we have that they don't? It's
I got
the
an
interesting thing.
iPhone.
Well, liquid water is a rarity. Like, really, literally, it is a rarity. And this planet having as much water as it does is abnormal to an extreme. Um, hold on a sec.
Uh,
So that's who's been taking all of our water. It's the
um,
aliens. They're
when you
sneaking
say,
in and taking our water.
I heard you say liquid water, is rare. I mean,
Yeah.
is there another type of water?
Gas, water vapor, clouds, um,
Oh, okay.
solid ice.
Okay, okay. You got me there. So when
Yeah.
you said liquid
There's
water, I
three
was like, is there
phases
another
for
type?
any material. Um,
Okay.
and then, when you get up to a high enough energy level, you turn into plasma, and it's just basically a soup of whatever. It is no longer any that given material. Um, but yeah, it all depends on the temperature and the pressure. So, um, yeah.
Uh, I got an article here, and I just went and got a bunch of articles because I was interested when they told me there's UFOs around here, because that could mean more than UFOs, if something's in it that isn't human. But I got all these articles here, and one says Tulare County UFO reports part of international databases. Enigma Labs is the UFO recording center as well as a research and analysis community. According to its website, it's received more than 280,000 reports of UFO sightings, with more than 40 of them coming from Tulare County. In its first 3 years, Enigma Labs has developed a network of more than 200,000 people around the world who recorded and submit their sightings. according to Alejandro Rojas, a consultant and spokesperson who also oversees the analysis of UFO sightings. We've got a big bargaining community of people who are looking at the sightings and analyzing. Also, Rojas said it's also interesting because you have these different opinions and people saying, hey, I figured out this and that, and people disagree, and debates going on. And this is a long article that I don't want to go into, but yeah, this guy, yeah, it's written by Steve Pastis. Too long of an article, but there's a lot of them about around here, and now that piques my interest about rockets around here, and then alien UAPs. You said right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
UFOs is still widely recognized. It's just the government term that they use now is no longer UFO. They have chosen UAP, sometimes USP when they go underwater. But
Oh yeah, I
yeah.
read some of those. I looked up some movies after I seen that on the news because I dug into it after I heard a little bit about it, even being around here. But they had these ones where they go under the water and they're on that little thing that goes doop and the line going around. Russia said they seen something near a ship and then it just like took off. So I watched a lot about UFOs when I seen that because as soon as I find one thing about it, I just go search everything.
Mhm.
That's just me.
I mean,
Yeah.
as far as movies go, if you had to fight one of these three aliens, which would it be? The Thing, the Blob, or the Body Snatchers? 1970s version, Donald Sutherland.
Uh, I'm afraid of fighting out of this world things.
I haven't
I can
seen
fight
any of
human.
those movies, actually, unfortunately.
Human.
My
Fine.
parents were not big into horror when I was growing up, and I haven't gotten back around to that catalog. So I'll need to get back to you on that. I have some homework to do.
Okay.
So wait,
And
let me write
Andrea,
it down.
any
What were
thoughts?
the blob, the body snatcher, the thing?
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Okay.
They did.
I am also unfamiliar with all of those, so I decline to answer.
Um, I already asked you if there's UFO sightings where you're at. But yeah, man, that's what's been on my mind leading up to this day is to bring up that they said there's could be UFOs near here and a bunch of sightings. Yeah, never lived in a country, I mean, in a county like this to where it's talked about so much. I thought it was just the internet and YouTube videos.
I mean,
Yeah.
now you got an opportunity. You gotta keep an eye out, keep your phone ready, and
Uh,
you might be one of those YouTube video guys. You could become a
that's
conspiracy.
that's that's what I'm not sure about. I'm not sure if I want to dig that deep into it.
Well, you
I
don't.
mean, there's people out
You
there.
can
There's people out
just
there,
send the
so
videos to
I don't
me,
need
and
it.
I'll become the conspiracy theory nut job and stuff. I've got a source, unidentified for his own safety, but he's supplied this footage fresh out of, undisclosed location in California. Um,
Once once I seen one thing about aliens and UFOs. I have Peacock, um, Amazon, HBO, and Paramount. And I started watching something about UFOs on each different streaming service.
oh, their
Because,
algorithm's gonna get you now. There's a lot of
yeah,
UFO crap out there.
it
You're
has, it
gonna, you're
has,
gonna get it.
Yeah, especially from Amazon. They told me all kinds of different ones, but they're on other streaming services, and I was just like, no, I'm not going to buy
Yeah.
that one just to watch this. But yeah, that's what caught my interest a lot this week. Yeah, like I said,
Yeah,
I only
some are
seen
definitely a
documentaries.
lot better than others. But some of the more interesting stuff comes from the internet and from YouTube interviews with some of the people involved with the government programs. Um, Look up Lou Elizondo, um, Lou, Elizando, Ando. That's not spelling, but yeah, Lou Elizondo. He was the head of the government's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program,
He
which
has a
was
YouTube channel.
basically, huh?
He looks like the guy who has a YouTube channel about it.
Probably.
I've heard of this guy.
Yeah, yeah, the ATIP program was the one that was basically running the Skinwalker Ranch experiment with Bob Bigelow and the task force within the Pentagon that was um, um, looking into this stuff was trying to avoid saying the task force tasked with dot, 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 UAPs because the creative writing class way
It's
back in 2003 it got to me to avoid repeating the same word twice in a sentence. So but task force was the correct word there.
uh what was I gonna say?
But
Oh,
yeah,
that
so
guy
Lou
you're talking about.
Elizondo's a good one. Um,
Yeah, he has some movies here. And I was looking up UFO stuff
uh,
because I seen this on the news, and this is a guy that popped up, and I looked at his Instagram, I mean his YouTube channel. So that's another thing. Yeah, I have seen this guy though, so it's funny that you
yeah,
bring him up. I
yeah,
have
that
some
he's the
apps
real
for his
deal.
movies.
Some of the people online are just complete wackos, but he's got the real deal, like bona fides. Um, Him and Travis Taylor. He's one of the hosts of the Skinwalker Ranch show, but he was also involved in the ATIP program. One of the astrophysicists. Um, he was also an astronaut. So um, I guess still is an astronaut, right? Technically, once an astronaut, always an astronaut. Once they send you up off the Earth, out of the atmosphere, that's it. You've been out there for the rest of your life.
You're saying Katy Perry's an astronaut?
I well, I don't know if it wasn't as I don't want
You
to
should go
say
to
yes,
space.
but technically, I guess if they didn't break the atmosphere though, then I have an out. I don't know. I don't know what those dumb little hops, the Blue Origin hops, do. If how far they get. If they don't pass the Von Karman line, then I can say no. Please,
Yeah, I
please.
don't know that they went all the way into space, but
Um,
I don't recall.
I didn't even hear about that. Um, Never knew that
Oh
Katy
yeah,
Perry's been.
she bought a ticket.
Yep.
Mm,
They send a lot of rich people and celebrities into space.
yeah.
mm.
There was
They send
one
monkeys into space too.
one of them who went up and like got criticized for like trying to turn it into some Instagram moment or something or pushing their channel like selfies. Everybody else there is like in awe of like You can see the curvature of the earth, and this person's there ruining it for him. It's like stupid Gen Z bullshit.
62 miles.
Huh?
Two things.
62 miles into space. It's
Oh wow. So
um,
she actually has been to space. That's what you're saying.
well, I don't know if that breaks the ionosphere or exosphere or anything, but um,
Routinely crosses the Kármán line. Yeah,
okay.
62
Mark does
miles.
not want Katy Perry to be an astronaut.
Mm-mm.
No. Um, Funny thing is that I seen the other day. I've been looking up so much shit about space. I find one thing, then I dig into it. But there was a show. I forgot the name of the show. It's right there on the edge of my vein, like Big Bang Theory, I think. Um, the one girl was arguing about her boyfriend's been to space, and she was like, "Well, Monkey's been to space, so he's not special." So you could say that Katy Perry isn't special because they send monkeys to space.
But those monkeys are special.
Mm, okay, well,
Yeah,
There's
we're all
no, it's not,
monkeys,
most
basically.
most monkeys don't get sent to space. It's only a handful of monkeys have ever
they're
left the
special.
planet. They're special. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when they took the dogs to space. They named them.
The
Um,
Soviet dogs, yeah, grab the stray dogs off the streets of Moscow, stick them in a tin can, and launch them up into space and leave them there.
yeah, it's exactly what they said happened. But yeah, Neil
Yeah.
deGrasse Tyson was another thing I wanted to say something about.
Oh
Uh,
God, I hope Neil deGrasse Tyson doesn't get a ride on one of those New Shepard launches. Oh,
why not? I don't know much about the
because I
guy.
don't. If Katy Perry qualifies as an astronaut for getting one of those little rides, then I don't want Neil deGrasse Tyson to have that same uh
Privilege.
privilege. Yeah, title. No,
Yeah.
he thinks too much of
You
himself
want him to be
already.
special?
I think Mark
What
and I
did he
don't like
do?
him.
Yeah,
Um,
he's
I don't know what he's done in particular. Can someone tell me? I
he's
I
just
just seen him on the Big
basically
Bang
been
Theory.
smug and like caused a fuss. I don't think he would be famous if it weren't for his brother, honestly. Um,
His brother
he
do.
is, huh?
What did his brother do?
His brother is Mike Tyson.
Uh,
Uh,
you sure about that?
Yes,
I didn't
yes,
know that.
100%. Neil deGrasse Tyson is Mike Tyson's brother. I don't
Wow.
think he would be nearly as famous as a cosmologist if he was not brothers with a prize-winning boxer. Tyson got name recognition.
Hmm.
Hmm,
Well, I'm
I
not.
gotta look that up.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I just don't. I don't
I
like.
mean,
I
I
think he's
believe
a.
you.
I
I
think
mean,
he's more
he's
of a.
just generally insufferable
Yeah,
anyways.
he is insufferable, and he's more of a cheerleader for science, and he says things that aren't true, and you know, I I doubt his they're just half truths, and like I
And
told you once
he would
before with
never admit if he is actually wrong. He'd just keep equivocating until he can get people to give up.
I told you
Which,
he was doing an interview and he said nuclear bombs don't leave any radiation or fallout, and e- even I knew that wasn't true. Dude,
I mean, that was obviously and demonstrably true even before they detonated the very first nuclear bomb. It's obvious these fission processes are going to leave radioactive molecules. The uranium doesn't just break up into nice, pretty, clean little, you know, nothings. There was a whole group of Girl Scouts that were on vacation or on a field trip or something out in Nevada, and they did I mean they were swimming in this spring or something, and all of a sudden this white stuff started falling. Um it looked like snow, but it wasn't cold. They couldn't figure out what it was, but they started playing in it. It turned out years later that was fallout from the very first nuclear test, the Trinity test, which they couldn't announce. They didn't announce the test beforehand because that would compromise the national security of the the nuclear bomb test, right? They didn't know how far it would go. They didn't know how big it would be necessarily, but they knew that it would cause all kinds of radioactive bullshit. But that group of children, those Girl Scouts, all died of cancer, like very shortly after, just a few years. None of them,
That's
none of them reached even middle age. Um, it's obvious, yeah. But
and
Um,
that
he's the like confidently incorrect type in many cases. And
mhm.
yeah, he hasn't he's
um,
yeah, like Kevin said, a cheerleader is a great way to put it. He doesn't do actual science.
they
He's
have
more, I mean, he's like Bill Nye, the science guy. He's
Bill's pretty cool.
yeah,
Uh,
but he only has a BS in mechanical engineering. He's not like a PhD level authority on the topic, you know,
His job
which,
was
he
never
was
to
one of the
be.
guys that
huh?
he was one of the guys that popped up when I was watching the alien videos. Bill, the science guy. That's why I thought of him. Um,
Yeah.
and then I
Which,
watched
I
him when
mean,
I was a kid. But
yeah, nothing against Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. I have, that's the limit of my education too. But I know that doesn't make me an authority on anything except just mechanical engineering. I don't go talking about, well, I do go talking about things beyond that all the time. Like, so
Mm.
yeah. But I mean, yeah, I'm not, I don't know. He thinks he knows everything. If you listen to
um,
him.
Not
I
to
got
start an
something here that
argument here,
says,
but Google says
"Go
that
ahead."
Mike Tyson and Neil deGrasse Tyson are not brothers.
No,
That's what I was gonna
what
say.
the hell? What the hell?
It
Who
says,
told
though
me
they
that?
share the last name, they are two distinct, famous individuals. One an
Oh,
astrophysicist, and the other a former heavyweight boxing champion. They have
well,
appeared together in pop culture contexts, including Mike Tyson mysteries, often playing on a humorous gesto position. Um,
Position.
yeah,
uh,
juxtaposition. Yeah. Well, I stand
there's an
corrected. I apologize.
uh, um, yeah, Mark, you said you were sure. I was going to take your word for it, but I googled it, and they
No,
are
yeah,
not.
yeah, I've said many times repeatedly ever since we first met, never don't take my word for anything, double check, check, fact check me. Don't, yeah, good. Thank you.
I was
Now
just
I've
curious, so I
learned
went and
Yeah.
looked it up.
something. I am better off for having been wrong because now I've learned. Um,
Uh, yeah,
but
that was something I thought maybe let me check because that's really interesting. If they were brothers, Neil deGrasse Tyson and Mike Tyson, that is very interesting. Um,
yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
Some internet troll probably put together some story and I bought it hook, line, and sinker. Uh,
Oh, by the way, online, don't trash Neil deGrasse Tyson. He'll get torn apart.
really?
Oh yeah, on
that's
Reddit.
why I'm
If you say,
asking you guys. What do you guys not like so much? Because I heard you guys keep saying I don't like him. Um,
I just said he says things that are not true. If you say a nuclear
oh,
bomb leaves no nuclear fallout, that means you are fallacious and not a scientist. You
And
are
as
oh,
a
okay.
scientifically
physicist especially should know better. An
yeah,
astrophysicist should know what radiation is, what nuclear fission and nuclear fallout. I mean,
it drives me insane. It's just
yeah. And the look on his face when he says that stuff too. He's just so self-satisfied.
and I was trying to think what he was trying to get at. Like, how could I don't know. What a big swing and a miss.
I don't know what he said, but it is hilarious that guys, uh, that you guys
I'll
dislike
try
this
to
guy
find the
when you
clip
talk
for
about.
when he said, but
Yeah.
What exactly did he say?
Neil deGrasse
Besides,
Tyson has argued that modern hydrogen bombs, so thermonuclear weapons, they say in parentheses, do not produce the same long-term radiation fallout problems as older fission bombs, like those used in World War II, suggesting the primary hazards are blast and thermal destruction. However, this claim is widely criticized by nuclear experts who note that H bombs use fission triggers, creating significant radioactive fallout. So, yeah, that's actually a really interesting fact. When people say thermonuclear weapons, what they are talking about is a fusion bomb, and a fusion bomb takes hydrogen and fuses those together to make helium, and that releases energy. But in order to fuse, you need a massive amount of thermal energy to begin with. So they get that by setting off a normal, like, nuclear bomb. And that's basically the trigger. The triggering device is the normal, like the same bombs that you would have otherwise. So, yeah,
Is it less fallout?
no, it's the same. It's the same bomb. You're setting it's the same, you know, plutonium or uranium bomb. You know, you're just using it to create a bigger um chain reaction on top of that. But it's the same radioactive fallout, same radiation.
did you know that a horse can go upstairs, but it can't go down?
You can get a horse downstairs. You just gotta
I mean, you
push.
can get him downstairs, but he couldn't do it himself. It says it is largely true that horses
I
can go
mean,
upstairs, but not downstairs, or at least they'll find it extremely difficult. While not physically impossible, their anatomy, specifically their knee and hip design, inability to see their feet when descending, massive weight, makes navigating steep, human sized steps going down very risky. They go up hills a lot,
yeah.
but
But
how
That's
many
what I
yeah,
was gonna
people
but
say
go
is
down a stairs?
a horse can
how do
go
they
downstairs. It just won't be graceful.
swear I've
Mm.
seen him going downstairs. It looks
If they can't go
That was the
downstairs, then
over.
how do
Yeah.
they climb down a mountain? I mean, it's
That's what
not
I'm
actual
saying.
steps, but they're still climbing down.
Mm. I
It
mean, if
actually
they're the
says
tiny
human
little
steps.
stairs that are like human foot length size or whatever, but yeah, there's steps. There's there are some places that have like horse steps that are longer and whatnot, but still, even the smaller ones, I think they can go down. Um, mm.
It says human-sized steps. Uh,
Okay. Because they have big hooves. So maybe.
They're not that big.
uh,
Yeah, they got big feet. Don't I
not
don't know.
that big.
Oh, okay.
No, like the palm of my hand.
Oh, oh,
Probably,
okay.
yeah, smaller than the palm of my hand, probably.
Oh. Hmm.
I have decent-sized hands. I guess they would be the size of my palms or smaller. How you said?
Yeah,
Um,
like including the fingers, not just the palm part, but they're not that big.
it's
I'm trusting you because I think you grew up around horses or
I
yeah.
did.
Well, must be
nice.
interesting.
Um,
Don't get stepped on one that hurts.
Well,
what was I saying? Uh, oh yeah, the horse thing. I don't know how they go upstairs, and that's what caught my attention when it said they can go up but not go down. Uh, oh, I am so sorry. It says a cow. Did I say a horse?
yeah.
Or
Oh,
cow,
Cows
I
don't have
can,
cow.
feet too.
that, yeah, I can see a cow not going down steps.
Okay, I was way off. Now we gotta rethink what I said. Um, yeah, cows can go upstairs, but they cannot go down. Not horses. But horses, it does say that you shouldn't do that. It says it's largely true that they go up but not down. But then the cow thing was a different subject. Yeah. So you guys, cows can't go up, but they can go down for obvious reasons. Um, yeah, they can't see their feet. So wait, how many animals can actually see their feet?
Many,
Can birds see their feet?
yeah.
Not a giraffe.
Mm. Giraffe has a long neck, so he can pretty. Well, I don't know. Can they bend over?
Pretty flexible with the
Probably.
neck, right?
They can't bend all
Yeah,
the
Can
yeah,
way
they
their
can.
neck
down.
look at their
Oh,
stomach?
wait, yeah, they can. They have to in order
Yeah,
to
I would
drink.
say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a whole
I forgot who
slew of
told me. They
a
probably
whole
look
extra
dead.
slew of complaints about Neil deGrasse Tyson if you want to circle back. I found some more
We can circle
some more
back. Everybody out there
instances.
watching, press that thumbs up button. And we're going to circle back on Neil deGrasse Tyson because I'm just so curious to why people don't like him, specifically
Well,
Mark and
yes,
Kevin. You did
Actually,
tell me
people
a
some
love
point,
them.
but if
some
you want to
people
circle
don't
back,
like him. He
I'm
is
here
very,
for it.
very, very popular. So that would suggest that it is only a small minority who dislike him. But and a statistical aberration that two of us happen to show up in this small sample size. So that's pretty cool. But um yeah, so over here, Neil deGrasse Tyson has been criticized for being wrong or inaccurate, particularly when speaking outside of his core expertise of astrophysics, such as history, philosophy, and biologies. Specifically, examples include misrepresenting Isaac Newton's work, which how does a physicist misrepresent Isaac Newton's? Just come on. Making flawed analogies about biology, oversimplifying complex issues like water tower physics. Yeah, astrophysicist doesn't know anything about engineering necessarily. Critics often point to his confident, sometimes abrasive, off-the-cuff delivery. Um, Common criticisms in areas where Tyson has been corrected include historical inaccuracies. Researchers on the Renaissance Mathematicus blog note that Tyson often misrepresents the history of science, particularly his claims that Newton invented integral differential calculus to write Principia, or that Newton discovered the laws of motion. On biology and evolution, on the Catholic website, it was argued that Tyson wrongly asserted that sexual intercourse is not painful in other species. General physics misstatements. Reddit users on our physics highlight that he has inaccurately described how helicopters operate in emergencies, saying they fall like bricks then when they can use auto rotation. Um, Philosophy and religion. Many critics argue his dismissive stance on philosophy and religion demonstrates a poor understanding of those disciplines. Yeah, he's just like
Don't forget the sexual misconduct allegations.
area. Oh, I haven't gotten to anything like that. Is there? I didn't wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, he was
But
accused of sexual harassment and sexual assault back in like 2018, 2019.
oh,
Neil deGrasse Tyson?
oh,
Hmm.
I need to look into that. I'm still got more to this list. Well, yeah, social
I
commentary.
Sorry.
know he's old as shit.
Um, Yeah, on Spiked Online, his suggestions to optimize sporting events based on pure physics were cited as failing to understand the cultural and human elements of sports. Yes. When he was discussing trans athletes competing um, with Joe Rogan, he was just, yeah, you guys should watch that podcast. The way he was talking to Joe Rogan when he was getting cornered by like a reasonable, rational argument, and he didn't have one of his own. He just kind of gets flippant
Arrogant.
and yeah. Um, but yeah, contextual factors, his off-the-cuff style. Commenters observed that while his peer-reviewed work is sound, his popular unedited content often features errors. And his overconfidence. And critics, as noted in the Big Think article, suggest that he sometimes speaks with absolute certainty on subjects he has not thoroughly researched. Yes, yes, yes. So, um, yeah, I haven't heard anything about. Oh man, there's so many articles about. Yeah, if you just Is Neil deGrasse? Okay. Yeah, if you just search Neil deGrasse Tyson incorrect, there's a whole slew of articles and everything. Um,
Um, I don't know much about him to not like him, then to go research him and have him all in my search history and stuff, and then it's going to give me a bunch of stuff that he's related to. So
I mean,
I'll take your
he's
word for
he's
it. I'm not
shared
gonna. I'm
some
not
good
gonna
information. He's not always wrong. He's just, you know, he's held in higher
doubt them.
esteem than he deserves, I
Yeah,
believe.
I would agree.
I don't know what to disagree with him, so I'll just put it there.
Well,
I'll
yeah.
just not check stuff out and have him in my search history because
No, nothing
yeah,
wrong about having him in your search history. He's a popular person, and if you wanna see what we're talking about, it would be worth at least checking it out, checking out something of his, listening a little bit. So, I would suggest the podcast that he did with Joe Rogan there. That's the one that he um when it said, his comments on optimizing sporting events based on pure physics, um, cited as failing to understand the cultural and human elements of sport. I'm pretty sure that's where that came up with. He was talking about how to handle trans athletes and whatnot, and he had, I don't know. You should watch it. You'd get a little bit more of what Kevin and I are.
Okay. I'll use my mom's phone and check it out because I don't want them in my search history.
Why? Why is
Because
that?
it's just going to start suggesting a bunch of stuff about them. And then I'm going to do all
Yeah,
the research on them
Okay.
because tabs are
I
popping
don't
up
want
about this and that.
I don't want Tyson or Rogan on my search history.
No?
Mm.
What you dislike Rogan?
Yeah, seems a little divisive.
Well,
What do you mean?
yeah, divisive how?
In the sense that,
His
yeah,
politics recently?
sure, let's go with that. I mean, mm,
Um,
I mean, let's go with
yeah,
that. Doesn't sound like that's actually. I mean, I'm really kind of curious because I
I am too.
thought he
You
was kind of
didn't get much of an answer.
pretty reasonable. If he's, I don't know.
let's see.
He just seems like he's a dick.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go with that.
Well,
The only thing I
go
know
with
about him is
that.
like he does
No, I
comedy.
mean, people keep putting Kevin without. I want to hear what Kevin has to say without just go with that. I'm
No,
sorry. That's
that was my initial thought.
yeah.
He seems to almost have that Howard Stern, you know, when he's interviewing people, like doesn't want to get to the truth. He wants to aggravate more.
Really? You put him in the category of like shock jocks, late
No,
90s shock
no, okay.
jocks?
I've seen the inter. Okay, forget the Howard Stern comment. Uh, he doesn't seem to want to get to a truth. He wants to establish a dialogue of incendiary. Um, he wants to inflammatory dialogue. That's what I mean, as opposed to talking things out.
Hmm, okay.
I
Only ways
feel
I've seen
like
him,
the
only ways I've seen him is do sports and comedy and his podcast. So I don't know the other
yeah,
sides of him and the political stuff.
I feel like
Uh,
the only way it could be seen that way is his if he just disagrees so strongly with his political opinions that and simply voicing them is seen as offensive. I don't know. I he's I'm no
I'm
don't see
totally
anything
lost.
inflammatory about him simply expressing his views. And I haven't seen anything on his podcast other than him discussing his views. And the fact that he gets so many people across the political spectrum and none of them come away from it calling him an asshole speaks volumes to his character.
You got something, Kevin? 'Cause I was thinking you were
No,
going to say something. All right.
I just,
Did you guys know that men get more hiccups than women? Significantly more.
the hiccup thing.
Yeah. Mark does not look like he knew that. I was
Mhm.
wondering that because I talk a lot, but it's actually
You just
not caused by talking a lot. They actually said something about men get it more because of drinking and smoking. I don't know how they thought that we drink more because I don't drink at all, but
Well, on
I
average,
guess it is.
men consume greater amounts of alcohol. It's,
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
said that too.
the average American man.
It
You and I
says
are
men are significantly
are
more likely.
dragging the average Americans, or yeah, the Americans average down. So that means the average male drinks that much more. We're lowering that number artificially by our zeros, you and I. Statistics.
Uh, yeah, I'm not in that part, so yeah, um, yeah. To have hiccups more, I thought it was because I talked a lot, like during the podcast and stuff, but uh, talking for hours isn't it. I thought that's when my mouth gets dry a lot because I'm talking forever, but that's why I keep water right here. Uh, but I got this. It says men are significantly more likely to develop more persistent or long-term hiccups lasting 48 hours, over 48 hours, than women, with some studies indicating over 80 to 90% of chronic cases are male. While brief, occasional hiccups affect all genders equally. The higher prevalence of men is linked to underlying conditions like GERD or alcohol use. Uh, yeah, so men use more alcohol too. So yeah, what you said. Yeah, so me talking isn't it. But another thing I had, Mark, was since me and you have sleep apnea, I had an article here about how sleep apnea can actually take 7 to 8 years off your life. When are you going to start using that machine, or you still gave up on it?
Don't
What
care.
the fuck is
I don't. If I lose 7 or 8 years, that's not. I I don't know. I don't think that's.
You don't care about
Um,
7 or 8 years? I do. I think I need those 7 or 8 years.
well, you're a dad.
Yeah, that part too. That's the main reason.
Who wants to live
But
forever?
yeah,
Man,
yeah. It just the devices are listening to us. So um, I was talking about sleep apnea to my mom one day, and then that popped up. And it says how sleep apnea accelerates biological aging, alarmingly common yet routinely ignored. Severe untreated obstructive sleep apnea can steal 7 to 8 years of your life, second to cigarette smoking,
oh,
um, which is a 10-year loss, or far exceeding the losses linked to lifelong physical inactivity, which takes 3 years off your life, or persistent high midlife cholesterol, which will take 1 to 2 years off of your life.
all these stats don't sound right.
Imagine I can send you the article and you can read it. I'm just reading an article. Don't
Okay,
kill the messenger.
okay.
Says imagine two 60-year-olds, both avid cyclists. One wakes up refreshed while the other feels as though they didn't sleep at all, despite having the same amount of sleep. A, a sleep study reveals why obstructive sleep apnea repeatedly punctuates uh, punctuates the second rider's rest, leading to dozens of oxygen dips each hour. These do more than hamper daytime performance. They leave molecular scars that make cells appear 6 to 10 years chronologically older, according to large-scale cohort and genetic casualty studies. 6 to 8 population meta-analysis indicates that OSA affects more than a third of adults aged 60 or older, yet diagnosis often lags for a decade or longer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's all kinds of things in there about that. But yeah, CPAP therapies. I have a CPAP, so I was thinking to start using it. It says CPAP and other therapies. Clinical trials of CPAP have found at least partial successes. A Brazilian trial of 94 participants with a mean age of 63 found that 6 months of nightly CPAP use of at least 4 hours stabilized telomere lengths. In contrast, the control group lost an additional 65 base pairs, equivalent to approximately 3 biological years in the same European cohort. Mentioned earlier, median CPAP adherence to 5.8 hours per night erased 1.6 years of grim age overshoot without 12 months. Observational studies, while less rigorous, agree on one direction and magnitude. So yeah, using CPAP, it'll give me a couple years more, is what they're saying. Mark, you're like, no, that thing is uncomfortable. You don't care about 6 more years?
I'd rather look cool when I'm sleeping than wear that cool. That yeah, it's important.
I'm gonna get one from Amazon because they have one that'll cover your mouth like this, which can be very uncomfortable. The one that covers your head and everything. But if I get one on Amazon, they have the one that'll just cover my mouth so I can lay on my side lay on my stomach and my back with no problem. But there is a comment here that says I can't sleep without my CPAP, and that is from Jeff. I'm gonna try the CPAP tonight, Jeff. Oh no, I got to go get distilled water too. So
a few questions about that article. It said high cholesterol takes 1 year off your life.
That's what it said. Just the article. I didn't
That's
say
not right.
that.
High cholesterol takes at least 10 years off your life, 10 to 15.
Mm.
And smoking, I know, takes way more off your life than whatever it said.
Statistics are only worth as much as the person who's putting them together. Like everybody comes up with different numbers for how many years everything comes off, takes off your life. Sample sizes vary between each study. They've got different cohorts. They define things different way. These, when they say it takes XYZ number of years off your life, it's only as reliable as the source.
I think so. But I think the greatest killer in this country is not lack of sleep CPAP. I would say it's probably cholesterol, which can be averted by exercise, which helps you sleep. See, it's all connected.
Forgot what I was gonna say. It said second to cigarettes, not more cigarettes. So after cigarettes, they said would be CPAP. This is the internet. Once again, I found a couple articles on it, but yeah, you guys already said that. Basically, not going with it, Mark. You're not going to change your sleep activity. You're not going to use this sleep apnea machine, even though you had it, like myself. I wasn't going to use it either until I seen this I'll try it, I guess.
Yeah, I gave it a try and it wasn't working for me. It was no,
Hmm.
it was not improving anything. It was causing problems. Um, no.
Um, the
So
insomnia
then,
thing is also another thing that came to mind. It's because I have insomnia, but also they said if I sleep with this thing, I could get better sleep. Uh, how do you think that's going to work? You think the insomnia can insomnia go away?
It depends
yeah, I
on the
think so.
I
reason
didn't
that
actually
you
know.
have insomnia. If it's a side effect of a medication, then yeah, absolutely it can go away.
Um,
Uh,
yeah, mainly I was thinking I can get more sleep with it, and if that's really possible, then that'd be nice. If definitely go to sleep before two
I would
a.m.
say the amount of time you spend in bed and the amount of sleep you would probably get more sleep for the amount of time you spend in bed, and that sleep would probably be better quality sleep if the mask is working for you, if you can actually fall asleep with it and deal with, all of everything else. Um, that's the way they sell it. So, um, yeah, I don't know. Give it a try.
I'm gonna get some water today and try it tonight. Um, yeah, Google is saying that it'll help you sleep better, and Jeff said that he can't sleep without it. So that's something that I was asking my mom is that um, some people start stuff and then once they try to stop it, then it's a problem. I don't want things to go like that. I don't want to be like, well, now I gotta keep using it uh, because I kind of felt that about the B12, but yeah. The B12, it's keeping the focals away, but it feels like I'm just gonna be taking it for the rest of my life, like my lamotrigine. But then the lamotrigine takes away the B12. Does anybody know if there's any side effects to B12? I mean, the gummies in particular.
You just,
Actually, they're red. I wonder if they
it
red
colors
40
your
in it.
pee really yellowy orange. Whatever extra your body doesn't need just comes out in your urine. It's not, unless you get one of those B12 shots in your ass and start munching those gummies like candy all the way home, you're probably not going to overdose on B12. It's really hard to do.
Mm.
you can take too much of anything, but I mean, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
I'm not a
I had
expert on the
I
area,
had
so
bad gastrointestinal issues. I get heartburn really easy, and it'll last throughout the night, maybe 12 hours. So they told me I could use these Tums, and I found some that I liked. And then I seen the side effects. They were like it could. I forgot what the side effects were, but they weren't good. So then I was thinking the same thing about the B12 because Amazon sends me a bottle once a month. I got it on the cycle up thing. So yeah, now I'm thinking shit. And that just made me think about when you said it makes your pee yellow. And that's something I did notice. I didn't know it was the B12. Um, I got to start doing my research on this.
dark
Uh,
urine can be something to be concerned about.
I was
Yeah.
concerned.
Yeah, it could be an indicator of kidney problems, but if you're drinking enough water and you're taking B12 supplements, it's probably just the B12. I mean, to be sure, you could stop taking B12 for a couple days and see if the color is any different. So, yeah, that's a good
I
point,
can't
Kevin.
stop the
It could be
B12.
that could mask something if you're not paying attention. but it's uncommon to
But
have kidney issues like that, at least at
but I
our
don't want to
age.
stop the B12 because I'm almost a year free of focal seizures. So
Yeah. I mean, a day or
stop.
two probably wouldn't cause any issues, though. Just, you know,
Yeah.
if there's any concern or question about your kidneys shutting down, that is. So, um, weigh the balance, kidney failure, seizure. I don't know. But there's no, I don't, you have no reason to think that your kidneys might be failing you. So there's an explanation for the urine color with the vitamins.
Okay. Mm. Mark, you say some things that make me want to do the
That
research on it.
unnecessarily complicated.
I don't want it to be the silent killer, just like they said about sleep apnea. So
I
now
don't
that's
think
something I'm going
kidney
to look
failure is
into.
a silent killer. I think kidney failure takes you out long and slow and hard
No,
and painful.
it said sleep apnea was the silent killer.
Oh,
Um,
I think SUDEP is silenter. So, but SUDEP takes 10 years off your life. So, you know, but that's the problem with these statistics. In reality, SUDEP takes 0 years off of anybody's life unless you get it. And you only, I mean, you can't take an
you only
aggregate
get it
like
once.
that and take a descriptive statistic and use it as a predictor for an individual case. That's not the way these numbers work. But Kitty, people don't pay attention or even like statistics are not well taught in the school systems these days. People don't realize or understand this. But um, yeah, the when it says on average, that doesn't mean it will for you. So that's why I don't take any, don't put much stock, it takes 7 years off your life. No, it doesn't. On average, it takes 7 years off of a person's life. But, you know, that's just the whole population describing, you know, I don't think I'm going to die 8 years younger because I'm not using a CPAP machine. And I don't think I'll live 8 years longer if I start using one. That's just not the way that math works. When that article is talking about how many years, something takes off your life. No, that's a misreading or a misunderstanding on the author's part.
Was the
So
article written by someone selling CPAP machines? Just out of
that's an excellent
curiosity.
question. Yeah, or somebody or sponsored by somebody selling. Yeah, it could be a disguised commercial. I mean, you never know these days. Everybody's got an agenda. Um, so why are they talking up CPAP machines so much? Um, mm. Especially with so many other like sketchy statistics. The cholesterol, like that doesn't make sense. Making CPAP seem so much better. Like, mm, lots of problems with that article, personally.
Um, I got an article here from April 25th, actually. But also, everybody out there, press that thumbs up button and subscribe. And The article here says 12 American scientists have gone missing or died. The mystery has become the talk and worry of Washington. One of you guys sent this link to a group chat, and I was wondering what you knew about it and why would you send it to me? Because I don't know what it is, but I think Kevin sent me that, right?
Kevin.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I think I did.
yeah. What's up with
There's
that? Let's
there's
talk about it.
there's no real pattern between this, but yeah, if you're into conspiracies, this is for you because they all work in I think a lot of them work in uh, very important areas of science, like uh, engineering and rocketry for the government. So, uh, but people do die all the time. I mean, it's over the past. This is it. Yeah, right. Those are the ones right there. Okay, so yeah, they work in.
Um, I'll read the article. It says something is up. Florida Representative Anna Paulina Luna warned on social media, uh, on X. Who killed the scientist? Asks Southern Carolina Rep. Nancy Mace. The Republicans are growing number of lawmakers and sound the alarm about the 12 U.S. scientists who have either died or disappeared since 2022, and all of them appeared to have ties to nuclear or space programs, and in some cases, classified projects. If you are feeling uneasy about the amount of scientists that have gone missing or died or recent suicides, reference those scientists and others. You are correct in your intuition, Luna's post added. Suspects have been identified in a couple of cases, but the mystery surrounding the unknown has fueled conspiracy theories and sleuths that tried to make connections between them. Both Congress and the FBI have launched investigation as there is still little information released about the possible connections of the cases. Lawmakers on the House Oversight Committee are now investigating 10 of the cases, writing to the FBI, Pentagon, and Department of Energy this week to warn how, in quote, these deaths or disappearances may represent a grave threat to the U.S. national security and the U.S. personnel with access to scientific secrets. And there's a picture of some guy here with a big smile. But the rest of it says we know there are many countries around the world that would love to have knowledge of nuclear capabilities. The House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer told Fox and Friends, and these are people that were at the forefront of it, and they're either dead or missing. The rumor mill went into overdrive Thursday following the death of famed UFO researcher David Wilcock, who died by suicide on April 20th. The office of Boulder County coroner confirmed Wilcock's death brings the total number of mysterious cases to 12. Police have ruled out foul play in some of them, and NASA has said there is no indication of security threat. While families have dismissed conspiracies about their loved ones, President Donald Trump said that hopefully it is all just a coincidence. Oh, he doesn't care about them.
Before you guys dig into this, I'm
Um,
gonna take off. I got a bunch of stuff I need to get done. So have a great day. It was lovely
all
seeing
right.
you all.
Stopping by.
Talk to you.
But
Um, Kevin, I didn't know these guys were missing. That's interesting. Uh, it sounds like Donald Trump just wants to hope it's a coincidence. It said that's
Well,
messed up.
it could be, very well could be. I'm more concerned if people are missing. Um, because like I said, people do pass away, and you know, um, but if someone's going missing, that's and they have important knowledge, that should be looked into, obviously. Um, yeah,
I
but
mean, you brought the
um,
article, so I assumed you were going to talk about it.
I just threw it up there, um, and yeah,
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm sorry. I'm kind of running out of steam here at this point.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm only halfway done reading it too. It goes on for a long time after that.
Yeah,
There's a lot more about them. There's a lot of them, and it's weirder, Trump saying, hopefully it's all just a coincidence. That's like less than a quarter of the way into the article. Like three dead or
yeah, I
missing
seen that.
there, and then there's another four missing New Mexico scientists. Um, you know, and then further down, there's another missing, murder of celebrated MIT nuclear scientist, genius researcher suicide, and the death of a pharmaceutical biologist.
hmm,
That's just, yeah, people die all the time, but people at that level of academia, there's not that many of them. It's a very small circle that like, so for that
yeah,
many of them to all be dropping out all at once, that is significant. Like
Something to
it
look
could be
into.
a coincidence, but if it's a coincidence, it's like, I don't
yeah.
know,
A
one
lot
in
of
a hundred
coincidences.
thousand, one in a million coincidence. Um, Especially with the missing, how many are missing versus just dead? That's they don't just
So
get kidnapped any day, and more than one of them getting kidnapped at the same time.
especially
That,
high profile people they go missing and shut case like that. But
yeah,
um,
it's this is
Um,
nuts. I would want to, if we could save this and talk about it next time. There might be other articles. I would like to look into it, but yeah, I'd only read that first bit, and I saw it kind of I didn't realize that
yeah.
the article continued. So I wasn't prepared to discuss all this much further. I would have looked
see,
more.
the problem was
This
I
is
saw this
crazy.
story first on the news, and they said there's no real pattern, and they dismissed it. And I said, well, that's not very good journalism. So
Yeah,
I looked further into it, and if people die and go missing who are high profile, you got to look at if this were a congressman, they'd they'd send half the army looking for him, but a person of, in the intellectual, um, uh, you know, uh,
yeah.
sorry, I'm running short too. Um, in the intellectual industry, um,
Academia.
yeah, yeah, academia, right? They don't really seem to really give a crap about. They have obvious, important information, or they might.
Conspiracy theory here. Could like Iran have sleeper agents that they've smuggled in and sitting in whatever and are now trying to take out high profile, high level scientists here domestically, quietly, as retaliation for the, destruction of their, you know, brain trust behind their nuclear program. It seems like kind of a direct sort of equivalent um, target, analogous target. That's the word. Um, Even if it's not on the same scale, it's still, you know, they're
So
taking
do
out
you,
our
do you think if
science.
if there was an Iranian assassin, do you think the government would ever let us know?
No, they wouldn't
No.
want if it was tied to, anything like that definitively. They would not want it out and known among the populace that foreign agents are successfully committing assassinations and kidnappings and murders of high profile, high value scientists in our country with impunity, and we have not been able to find or stop them.
Hmm.
They would not want that known. They would just treat it like normal criminal missing persons and say, I'm not worried, right? Of
Yeah.
course, I sound like a crazy person for saying that, but
No, no, that's not crazy at all. Keep the people calm. Yeah, right. But nothing seems to get people that riled up anymore anyway. Um, yeah.
Um, I got one thing that I should have brought up earlier. Yeah. Oh no, I think I did bring it up. It was about the bones inside of the Titanic. There's an article here that says bones have been found in far older shipwrecks. Why not the Titanic? Um, I'm not sure if it's the depth of which stuff had actually sank, but uh, Mark, I forgot why you said the bones are gone or something like that. That they should be disintegrated is what I was thinking, right? After so long, people might have, I mean, not people, animals might have eaten them.
yeah, well, certainly all of the soft tissue would be long gone by now, just decayed and eaten and whatever. I don't know about bones. If they say that they found bones in far older shipwrecks, then I would want to know how deep those shipwrecks are,
That's
how
what I
old
was
they
thinking.
are, what sort of conditions, because the Titanic is far deeper than most other shipwrecks. I was going to say any other shipwreck, but I don't know about any other shipwreck for sure. But it's one of the deepest shipwrecks ever known and located. And so that's, a lot further for a body to sink and drift down and currents to move and wash and drift separately. So that the ship is a big, heavy steel thing going right down, but the human body could be swept by a current a lot further away, whereas this, you know, big ship would just go straight down.
Even
So
then, it would need to be the bones would need to be preserved somehow,
yeah,
maybe in the soil or something. So if they went, I mean,
was
wouldn't
it, I
they
mean, the icy cold of the Atlantic there might refrigerate them enough to keep
possibly?
them from, rotting away. But I don't know what sort of processes would destroy or decay bones
Me neither.
either. So can't I can't really speak much to that. But I doubt that there would be many people still inside of the ship considering how long it was taking for it to go down. I doubt they would find anything inside with any of their rovers or whatever, except just the stuff people left behind. The people on the lifeboats, I recall, were describing people jumping off of the
Mm.
ship and, holding on to debris or whatever. And after a while, they would just fall off and sink and they would be carried wherever. by the current. So they'd just be scattered to all corners. They weren't like going down with the ship like a military um vessel would, you know. So I'm I don't know. I'm not surprised by no human remains being found on the Titanic to date. I would be surprised if there are any in the future, actually. Um, that just,
I'm getting
Mhm.
various numbers on the total death numbers. 15 and 1,500 deaths apparently. So it doesn't say how many went down with the ship or
Yeah, I couldn't find anything that says, but yeah, there's a bunch of articles asking why, but then a few of the articles they have reasons why. Um, if you don't mind me reading one,
yeah.
it just says why human remains have never been found inside of the shipwreck. This was on March 3rd. Why haven't any skeletons been found among the wreck of the RMS Titanic? There are several reasons, but most are likely to extreme death, at which doomed ships lie. And over 111 years after it sank, the Titanic continues to fascinate and surprise the public. For instance, did you know that it was found by a team that was pretending to look for the shipwreck Titanic? Or, despite what the internet believes, it partly imploded as it sank? Or that a couple got married in the deck of the Titanic in 2001? One such strange fact is that despite exploration of the submerged shipwreck since the rediscovery in September 1985, no human remains have ever been found on board. I've seen zero human remains. James Cameron, director of Titanic, who has visited and explored the wreck 33 times and claims to have spent more time on the ship than the ship's captain, told the New York Times in 2012. Um, it's a long article, but the articles they you get so far down before you finally find out why. Um,
James Cameron's got a real obsession with the Titanic, I know, but still,
Did you
he's a
guys see the South Park episode of James Cameron?
yeah,
He's
yeah,
about the
right.
boy. Yeah, I love that.
did not. I need to
James
check into
Cameron
more.
does not do what James Cameron does for James Cameron.
James Cameron
James,
does was was
what
good.
James Cameron does because James Cameron is James
Mm,
Cameron.
yeah, it was a good episode.
Everybody out there watching, press that thumbs up button once again. Uh, but yeah, I don't know who James Cameron is, and
He's the director of the Titanic.
I got to go
Among
watch that
others, but
too.
no, I don't think any other film he's made has been quite as important as the Titanic movie.
Oh, he's made
He did
he made
Avatar,
Avatar.
whatever, but that's just it was the 3D
Uh,
It
that
was huge
really
when it
made
came
it.
out.
Yes, it was a 3D gimmick. It was way too long for the amount of plot that they actually had,
You're
and
right.
it just
I was not crazy about the script. No.
the Titanic. And I mean, I'm not into like romance movies, but the Titanic was a really good movie, you know.
Yeah, I liked it too.
Um, so yeah. Um,
um, there's a comment here that says there are shipwrecks deeper than the Titanic. Uh, yeah,
Interesting. Hmm.
somebody
Oh
fact
yeah,
checked it. Everybody
I
out there
forgot.
watching, press the thumbs up button. Uh,
He
officially
did
been
really some
live
really
for
good
3
sci-fi
hours.
movies. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sci-fi movie?
Oh
Yeah,
no. Go
he
ahead.
did Aliens and
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Terminator. Yeah,
Aliens. Yeah.
yeah. So,
uh,
I prefer Alien over Aliens, but
yeah,
yeah, it was good. Good
mhm,
movie.
yeah.
Someone told me that they enjoy when I kept saying "your president" and kept instead of saying "president." So they sent me an article, and looks like your president's falling asleep. It says Trump appears to fall asleep again in the White House meeting as critics call out MAGA. Now, for the first time during his second term as president, Donald Trump has once again, appeared to doze off in front of the media. Yeah, a big Donald Trump criticism of Joe Biden ahead of 2024 election was the nickname Sleepy Joe, but Trump, at 79 years old, appeared to snooze off while the world was watching. It came during a deal with the drug company Regeneron on Thursday after April 23rd, after Trump had spoken about the U.S. healthcare. Oh, so yeah. What do you guys think about your president falling asleep while talking? Well, not while talking, while being there, I guess.
I
He's
mean,
old too, so
it's
Yeah, 80
stressful
years old.
getting almost assassinated. He needs a little nap.
oh yeah. What about that?
Who's-
You guys, the guy that tried to kill him the other day, I forgot about that. I forgot where I even seen it. Yeah, one of these the secret security people, what is it called? That um the people who guard him got shot, but he had the vest on. But yeah, what do you guys think about that? This guy getting
I
chased
guess
down in the video. The video.
it's weird when it's not even news anymore that people are trying to kill Trump, you know?
What do you mean? It's
Yeah, I
all
found an
over the
article on
news.
that where they said there was
Just no
four
other
times they
president has
tried,
had
and America
three
is
separate
worried.
assassination attempts by his political opponents.
Oh,
I
they
don't
said
know.
four because they had that one guy, Charlie Kirk. That was. They said there's been four in the past political assassinations
Political assassin,
in the
but
past
yeah,
since
but
2022.
yeah,
Uh,
Uh,
which
repeat
is
that.
it's a very it says a lot about our country when you think back like 10, 15 years ago and you asked any American citizen, is it acceptable to commit violence against somebody else on the basis of their opinion? Is it acceptable to kill a person for their political viewpoint, for their speech? 99.9% of people would say no. Now, it's getting openly celebrated. The United Healthcare CEO, Charlie Kirk, three different assassination attempts on Trump. It's crazy. It's not it's not healthy. It is, yeah.
By the way, a correction on the political assassinations. There's been more than four, and there's been attempted assassinations on both sides. So uh,
Okay, can you elaborate?
I have to look them all up. I mean, my governor, Josh
Because
Shapiro,
there was the
someone tried to burn his house down. I think it was a Muslim who attempted
oh,
to.
was there
I shouldn't
at
qualify the Muslim. I mean,
Mamdani, the explosive device thrown at the protest in front of Mamdani's house?
yeah, and it's obviously unacceptable on both sides. But I mean, why do you think
I
people
mean,
go out of their way to murder a
because the
healthcare
media
CEO?
is whipping them up into a frenzy, portraying this administration is a literal fascist takeover. So these people get it into their heads that our country is being, led by literal Hitler into literal Nazism. So they go and write. I mean, you should read the manifesto of this shooter from last Saturday. I mean, it's pathetic. It sounds like he's trying to write a 5-minute stand-up sketch while also explaining his action. I don't know. It's nuts. The guy is clearly out of his mind, but
Was he out of his mind? I mean, he was a contributing member of society before that.
no, he was out of his mind. Read the manifesto and you will see the guy is
I don't have
clearly
to.
out of his mind.
To label someone is to negate them. To just give them a label like, oh,
Read
he's just
his
right here.
manifesto, and you
All
will
right, yeah, I
see the
understand.
man is not mentally healthy, okay?
All
Don't
right.
dismiss it out of hand without having read what I'm saying.
I know,
As
I know.
it was what he
Most
wrote
people do
is
have manifestos. So why?
okay, saying that is to dismiss mental health as a non-issue. Everybody, most people have no. No, most people do not have mental health problems, and certainly not in the fashion or the degree that that guy did.
And
So,
that's my point. Most people don't have mental problems. So why did this person suddenly just a person who was a teacher?
because he's been whipped up by a media that's portraying Trump as literal Hitler and this administration as a literal Nazi takeover of the country. And so he has it in his head that he is some superhero who's going to rescue the country from all of this. I mean, read his manifesto that he's
All
talking.
right, I'll get around to it. I'll get around to it.
He
But
thinks he's a hero. He's
I, why now? Why now are we seeing so many attempted assassinations on leaders and people like that?
because the media is portraying the current
The
administration as a
media,
literal fascist takeover of this country.
whether that's true or not, um, so just
I
starting
mean,
in,
how is it not true?
you really want to get into that now?
Well,
No.
they're talking, I mean, every outlet is talking about fascism, Trump Nazi.
There's a huge difference between Nazi and fascist
No,
because
they're used
he is not
interchangeably by
Hitler.
the protesters on the street.
Yeah, I know there's a
But
lot
I
of
mean,
protesters.
Italian fascism aligned itself very early on with National Socialism, and because their ideologies kind of just meshed together like that. So it's not, don't try to portray them like, it's like, who's the pedantic one now?
What have I seen so far in this administration? What have they accomplished? I'm seeing a lot of invasions of other countries without,
Well, I was asking about how the media is portray
yes,
how is the
the
media
media
not
has been,
portraying as fascist, as literal Nazi takeover of the country?
yeah,
How is it not
the media has not been helpful.
propagandizing? If you
The
don't see
media
it
has
as
not been
left
helpful. I
propaganda, then
agree.
that just
But
means that you're
you
in
know
the
who is part of the
in
media?
the target demographic.
You know who has been part of the media? Donald Trump. He has inserted himself into this dialogue and aggravated a lot of people. And he can help by just shutting up, removing himself from this conversation by just doing his job and shutting the hell up. You know, He
That's
doesn't
not the
have to.
president's job to just shut the
Well,
hell up. No, that's not the president's job.
Right.
That's just literally the opposite of the president's job.
so it's his job to sit there and make fun of veterans and disabled people and women
When did he do that?
all the time. There's literally a
Show me
video of
one
him.
example then.
Well, they can
You
load it
can't
up on
say all the
YouTube.
time if you can't come up with an example.
Just give me a second.
Take all the time you need.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, all right.
It didn't happen. Don't feel bad about not
I,
knowing about something that didn't happen.
I didn't know about the him not liking. He said women and veterans. That I didn't hear about.
Yeah, because it's not
Uh,
true. It didn't happen.
is this something new, Kevin? Something I missed? Because I watched the
No, he's
news.
been doing this for the past
No, he
10,
hasn't.
11 years.
No, he hasn't.
Oh wow.
Oh,
You have any evidence of this?
No, he doesn't.
Are you still searching?
He's trying.
Dun, 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 dun. Um, I have something else.
So,
If you just want to move
yeah,
forward,
at some point we got to move forward because Kevin's not going to find anything. Um, what else do we have?
FedEx will start charging companies like SpaceX for rocket launches. The FAA fees start at 25 cents per pound of payload, capped at $30,000 for a single launch or re-entry. This was posted 2 days ago.
it's right
Yeah,
down there, by the
Mark,
way. Him making
yeah,
fun of a
that's a
disabled
good
person.
that's a good that's a good thing in my opinion. Give and it's interesting that article SpaceX talks on about how they actually support the increase in and the establishment of fees increase of pay to the FAA. I mean, it just makes sense, doesn't it? That if they're going to be shooting up rockets all the time here, that they should that the FAA has to clear traffic and this and that and deal with all this stuff that if they're creating an increased burden workload on the FAA to have them pay for it, right? I think that's a good thing, good idea.
that's a
Um,
good idea. I didn't know
yeah,
they weren't paying.
yeah. I wasn't aware. I don't know if they weren't paying anything. I don't think that they weren't paying anything, but I think that whatever it was something outdated. Um,
Do you
yeah.
think they could be looking for money?
I mean, it's not pure profit. If it was pure profit, then they wouldn't cap it at $30,000 for a single launch or reentry because,
Hmm.
if they're starting at 25 cents per pound of payload and cap it at $30,000, these launches are going tons and tons and tons of weight into orbit. So they would make a lot more than $30,000 if it wasn't capped there. So yeah, it's not about profit, but it's definitely, I mean, it's definitely common sense, I think. As weird as it feels for me to, you know, yeah,
Hmm.
of course they should. Because there's a lot of, well, here, should we read the article
Go ahead. I send it to the chat.
So, rocket companies will soon be required to pay a user fee for the skies as the Federal Aviation Administration moves forward with charging for launches and re-entries. The FAA recently published a notice announcing its new policy for imposing commercial space launch and re-entry licensing and user fees. The collective fees will go towards the FAA's Office of Commercial Space Transportation, helping fund needed resources to keep up with the growing space industry. As it stands today, FAA charges small fees that cover the application process for launch and re-entry licenses acquired by companies like SpaceX. In return, the FAA clears the airspace of commercial and private flights during rocket launches and along the path of re-entry. Last year, a provision of the Budget Reconciliation Bill proposed that the FAA begin charging licensing fees to rocket companies starting in 2026. The fees would be based on the size of the payload, starting with 25 cents per pound in 2026 and gradually increasing by approximately 10 cents every year. In 2023, companies will potentially have to pay $1.50 per pound of payload. The fees will be capped at $30,000 per launch or reentry. I'm not sure if that's even it after the price increases per pound, but hold on. In this notice, the FAA said it would begin including terms and conditions that outline the fee assessment and collection procedures for future licenses and permits issued by the administration. Rocket companies with existing licenses will still be liable for the user fees for all launches and re-entries that take place in 2026, according to the FAA. Rocket companies have to inform the FAA of the weight of the payload at least 60 days before liftoff. The FAA will use that information to calculate the user fees and issue a pay notification to the company, which will then have 30 days to pay up. At the dawn of the space industry, the FAA initially waived fees for companies to help the industry grow during its infancy. Over the years, the space industry has placed an added burden on the FAA as the administration struggles to keep up with frequent rocket launches and the licensing process they entail. Airlines, on the other hand, do pay fees to the FAA, which go into the Airport and Airway Trust Fund that makes up nearly half the administration's annual budget. And the FAA has finally decided it's time for space industry to do the same. Elon Musk's SpaceX is responsible for the majority of orbital launches each year. In 2025, SpaceX alone achieved a record-breaking 165 orbital launches with its Falcon 9 rocket. Other companies fell far behind, with ULA closing out the year with only 6 rocket launches. SpaceX executives have also been the most outspoken against the FAA's lack of resources, which they claim hinders the development of the space industry. In 2023, SpaceX's Vice President William Gerstenmaier spoke at a hearing by Senate Subcommittee on Space and Science, warning that the FAA's licensing department is in great distress and needs twice the resources it has today. The collected user fees will go into a trust fund to help AST acquire said resources, which it desperately needs to manage the growing number of rocket launches, particularly SpaceX's Falcon 9 workhorse. So, good, right? Sounds like common sense.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah. Um,
Does the passport expire?
yes.
And then, oh, okay. Did you hear about oh man, your president once again is putting his face on passports. So I had an article that was talking about why, or no, people were talking about how do they get one that doesn't. Um, so yeah, got an article here. It says how to get a passport without Donald Trump's face on it. The signature will appear in gold. News broke Tuesday that President Donald Trump will face, oh, Donald Trump's face would soon appear on the U.S. passports. It isn't exactly a surprise given the way Trump has been slapping his name on various buildings, planning to plaster his face on 2 different coins this summer, and naming government initiatives after himself. Have you signed up for the Trump account or Trump RX yet? But there has been some confusion about the widespread that Trump passports will be, perhaps because Fox News raced out an end quote exclusive on the story after the White House press office apparently tipped off Fox that another competing news outlet was going to break the story. The Fox story is confusing and has left people with more questions. Will the everyday citizen get a Trump passport? When do the passports start? And how can I avoid getting a passport that bears the face of our dipshit president? Um, the Bulwark, I don't know if this is how you pronounce the word. It's BULWARK. I think that's a name for something. Somebody obtained images of the new passport, which includes a portrait of President Trump on the front of the copy of the Declaration of Independence. The president's signature will also be included in gold colored ink. Uh, you guys probably aren't worried about getting a passport, right?
No, but there is a problem when you have to remake all of these things, and you have to put someone's face on all this money, reprint all the money with the signature, redo all these things, tear down buildings and rebuild ballrooms. It costs money. It's a lot of money to reprint money, and it's just wasteful and stupid. And if
Hold
it
on,
ain't,
hold on, hold on. You're not reprinting the money. You are printing money while taking the old, distressed, unusable bills out of circulation, as has always been done. You just start printing the new one, just like happened back in like around the turn of the millennium, right? You had the old 90s style bills, right? They didn't just take them all away. You used both. They're legal currency. It's just over time, as those old bills got worn out, they were removed from circulation and the new ones took over. So it's not a big dramatic cost or burden. It's just a shift, and this has happened before, and that's not that big of a deal. So the money is non-issue there. I didn't catch the rest, but yeah.
so there's no cost
Um,
to knocking down a building and putting up
I
a
said the
ballroom.
money. I said the money. I was talking about the money.
Okay, but
But you're planting all of that, tying it all, lumping it all together. And that's intellectually dishonest because not all of them deserve to be lumped together as a major, massive cost. Like I
and you're
just
ignoring
explained what facts?
the facts that he's wasting money and he's costing this country money.
I mean, a shift to a new dollar bill is inevitable. It's been time.
All
Um,
right, fine, forget the dollar bill then.
Counterfeiting is catching up to the way that we're at right now, and in order to keep the paper currency usable, viable, it's yeah. So okay, forget the dollar bill. What?
Right. Well, what about the
uh,
war that's costing us $25 billion? And that's just out of the Defense Department. It's costing the world.
Department of War.
Yeah. No, well, not actually technically. He doesn't
You,
have the power to rename it, I don't think, but
you don't
um
think? You sure? You sure about that?
okay, let's move on.
Pull a
Um
Kevin on you there. Ha ha. You sure about that?
yeah. It, it's, it,
No, you're not sure about that, are you?
no, I'm not sure, but the Department of Waging War is costing us a lot of
I
money.
do
And
know that you don't have the authority to rename it like that. So,
answer the question.
what question? I stopped listening at the Department of Waging War.
Mm. Is this money that he's wasting worth it? Is shutting down the department or the Strait of Hormuz worth it? Is he fiscally responsible for a
Are we still
Republican?
on a government shutdown?
Yes, we are still shut down.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, there was another article that had something about they were wondering why some ships turned around at the Hormuz thing. Yeah, they just have a video and they're wondering why some random people doing YouTube videos. So there are boats going over there.
Fascist. You know what? I'm going to turn around on this because he's isolated every other country in the world. That's what fascists fucking do. He's paired up with Putin. He sent his vice president over to Hungary, a country that supports, outwardly, overtly supports Russia. He sent his vice president to support the candidate that supports Russia. Who the fuck does that other than a fucking fascist? And he has military in our cities, rounding up citizens, killing our citizens.
That is patently false. That is lie. That
That
is
is true.
incorrect. ICE is not military. It is law enforcement, and to relabel it such is just, I mean,
Oh, splitting hairs now.
no, 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 definitely
Okay,
not splitting
well, they
hairs.
are.
I mean, I'm being
Well, what the
accurate,
hell are they doing then?
enforcing law.
Mm.
Mm.
But with no legal recourse for themselves.
Do
Um,
you have a point?
Yeah, what is the legal recourse for people who murder American citizens?
Do you have an
um,
example?
I, we've discussed this before. The murder of Alex Preddy and Renee Good.
Okay, Alex Preddy. Let's take a look.
Yeah, okay.
If we
Was there
look at
even
the
an
videos
investigation into
around
that?
Alex Preddy, what we see when you watch a video that has not been taken first by the AP and pulled up, stopped every 2 seconds with blocks and labels telling you what to see, what to read into any given situation, what they think, what they want you to think is happening.
You're seeing what you
When you
want to see.
watch the video itself, I mean, there's actually like 3 or 4 different videos from multiple different angles. They all start after an altercation has happened, but
Oh,
hold
you
on.
mean the
Let's
nice lady
back up
smiling and
even
waving at
further
ice?
to, look at larger context. Mr. Alex Preddy, um, 2 weeks earlier was at a protest, a demonstration, caught on camera vandalizing law enforcement property. He kicked out the rear tail light of the ICE truck.
Oh
So
my.
this is not a peaceful hippie arm in arm,
So he kicked out a tail light.
nonviolent protester. He is
So let me ask
that
you
was
why.
first off. That
Fuck
was
no.
that was the yeah. Stop talking over me, asshole. Um,
All
the
right.
Oh man.
the he was not a nonviolent, peaceful protester. He went there kicking out taillights. He was arrested for that, released without charge. Very nicely of them. They could have held him. They could have arrested him, kept him, charged him, sent him to jail for that. 2 weeks later,
So
he
why
goes
didn't
out,
they?
and now that's where these videos kick in. Um, After something had started happening, some kerfuffle with which there are no actual specific details. All we see is two people arguing, and Alex
So
Preddy jumps in, inserts himself between them, shoves one person, grabs him in a headlock, flings him over, shoves him to the ground.
it's not what
Man's
happened.
head smacks against the pavement.
Not what
Guy
happened.
gets up, law enforcement come over. So if that alone, that
Not what
is
happened.
battery, that is assault and battery. And we know
So why did
after
they
the
push him to the
that
ground,
he
take his
was
gun, and shoot
armed
him with
with
it?
a deadly weapon while committing assault and battery at that protest. We don't know the context of the argument around it. So that's when law enforcement intervene. When a protester has committed a violent crime and he goes and he continues struggling, whatever. I don't know. Does that mean he deserved to die? Absolutely not. Does that mean that he, you know, is exonerated from everything? No, absolutely not either. He should never have been at that protest with a firearm if he did not want to be in danger
Second
like that.
Amendment, bitch. Oh, he had a right to carry.
Right, he did, and he was being irresponsible as fuck.
He never
He
took his
was
gun
not
out.
a responsible firearm owner.
He never took his gun out.
He should not have inserted
They
himself
took his
into a
gun out.
situation like that. It's not his job to enforce laws like
He
that.
was not enforcing law.
Well,
They
it's
were.
not
They were.
right. Yeah, after a crime was committed, because he was not there to enforce laws. He was not there to interject
What the
himself
hell are you
into a
talking about?
situation and throw people to the ground. And I mean, honestly, that
It, it
guy's
was.
head
It was.
hit the
It was
pavement,
six
hit the
men
icy
against one.
pavement.
It was 6 men against one.
No. It was
It,
two people arguing. Alex jumped in between him, flung one of them to the ground, and only then did ICE come over and pull him off of them. He was he was an aggressor there.
well,
And
thank God
yeah,
they
and
shot
he
him in the
was
head for that.
dangerous. Huh?
Well, thank God, they shot him in the head for, pushing someone. They're
Hmm.
real heroes for,
You really
shooting a
just
I
man
want to
for,
see the video here.
just drink any Kool-Aid offered to you, don't you?
what is that?
There's
You
a
just come
video
up with
here.
that's your only defense is
Yeah, well, hey, I mean, there's no reasoning with someone who's indoctrinated. So, yeah, I've
doctrinated.
explained the situation and there's no convincing you. I know that. So,
Well,
Have
that's
I
you
think
guys
all
I
seen
I
the
think
do is
video?
just
most
explain.
most of the country hates ICE.
I don't
So
think that's true. It's
hates
just
them.
people around you.
Well, either you're fucking
A lot
blind
of
or
people hate
you're
ICE
just
I
on
mean,
the news, and
yeah,
yeah,
well, the news reports all the people who hate ICE. That doesn't mean everybody hates ICE.
yeah, not
just the
everybody,
people who
but
jerk
yeah.
off to them like you.
Oh wow. Um,
Mhm. You don't know
Yeah, I
what you're
saw the
talking
middle
about,
finger.
man.
Yeah, cute.
Yeah. And I meant it too.
oh
Well,
wow. Um,
Idiot rednecks like you ruin this country.
You think
Come
I'm a
on,
redneck,
Kevin.
man? That's oh my God.
Well, hey, I got a question. Why'd you get fired from your job anyway?
Downsizing, corporate downsizing. Nothing
Sure,
to
it
do with
wasn't because
anything.
you can't work with people.
No, it wasn't. No.
Until next
When was
time.
the last time you held a job? And what was
I,
it?
I've been
Being
paid
a
before.
homeowner?